But the first thing we have to do is I need a round of beers, chat. You always liked weird stuff? Totally. But, like, I think that there's people that are more open to that kind of thing than others, you know? At what age do dwarves start rearing children? They can't have kids until they're married. And that is a hard-coded thing in Dwarf Fortress to the point where if you dig deep into the Legends files, you'll notice that if, like, 2 cats have a kid, they get married for about 1 tick in-game. And then they get immediately divorced, which is really funny. Because, yeah. But they can't get married until they're adults, and they become adults at 18. So, cat divorce rate situation is insane. Yeah. Just don't look too closely at the cat inbreeding. Speaking of eugenics. Yoris Juristov, it's good to see you. Main threat, hello. Chat, just as a reminder, this is a completely crowdfunded stream. I do this because people throw money at me. I wouldn't be able to do this if people didn't do that. And based on, like, some analytical things that I've been reading about recently, apparently the people who don't fund their streams that way are actually, like, are rapidly, if not beginning to, if not in the middle of, having a hard time because of that. So, because of the state of the world right now and, like, people's general perceived value of live streams. So what I have to say is, thank you for helping me not have to worry about that bullshit. And if you want to help me not worry about that bullshit, you can go to my website, which is blindirl.com/support. On that page, you'll see all the different places you could support the channel and the different benefits and cut that I get. Currently on my website, if you would like access to sound commands on Twitch, you can get them for $3.50 for the first month using code MARCH or going to blindirl.com/March. I get, it's like, what, 98% approximately of the money that way. And then after that, drying up. It's been drying up for the last 2 years or so, but it's, like, starting to get bad now, Jody. But it's not an adpocalypse. Please don't use buzzwords like that in my chat. But big companies are spending less money on things they're not getting a return from. I'm not anywhere near as conspiracy theory heavy and, like, pushy on the viewbotting bullshit as some people. So I don't agree with that, actually, Saber. But what I will say is this. Audiences aren't stupid. And they know what a sponsored stream is. And they know what an ad is. And when you see an ad, you generally don't click on it unless it's something you're really interested in. And if the entirety of your market and your income is based on having ads that people click on, and you do that a lot, people are going to stop clicking on it. So viewbotting or not, what matters is people aren't stupid. And eventually you will hit a ceiling of how many clicks you get. The first one you do, you'll get tons of clicks. I guess what I'm actually trying to say is the viewbotting is literally nothing new. Like that's going to be a problem as long as social media exists. For the same reason that, like, you know, hacking is going to be a thing in every multiplayer game until the end of time. Carl the Viking, thank you very much for the 5-pack. I greatly appreciate you. Thanks for helping keep the channel funded. 1 subscription at a time. YouTube, folks, if you want to help the stream out, the best thing that you can do is leave a like on the stream. Appreciate you for hanging out as well. And if you happen to have a hat next to your name because you're a YouTube member, I appreciate you. I just don't like the buzzwords, that's all. No, I completely agree, Saber. But I don't think that advertising is a viable long-term business model for content creation. But I haven't ever really thought that, which is why, if you like the work I do, consider funding it directly. Just moving some tabs around here. So we're going to try and build a vampire. Before I can build a vampire, though, I have to reclaim the fort. Boop. Badoop. Or open the fort so I can unclaim the fort. I'm going to retire this fort, and we're going to go over exactly what the goal is. I'm not turning this into a vampire fort. It's going to be a fort with a vampire in it. That is the goal. How are we doing today? Weirdly nostalgic. It's sunny. It's nice. Formula 1 starts this weekend, so I'm excited about that. I'm just waiting for that to finish. Well, I mean, that's not true. We figured out another system, Zach, and it's called Support Me on My Website. The reason that ads are a large system is that's the only system that big companies have figured out to make us, the people who make content for their website, actively push, because it's the easiest for them to give us a portion of. Whereas if it's any other system, then they take such a large portion of it, and it's so obvious the portion that they're taking from it that less people are willing to work within it. As an example, if you make a system where you show an advertisement and they keep 60% and they give you like 40% or 30% of the profits in the case of YouTube, and they tell you that, but they're like, you can't turn this off, and everybody has to take part in it as part of this. That's great. Whereas with something like subscriptions, where the audience pays the streamer, you know exactly how much the platform is taking. It's way clearer and easier to figure that out. First. Second, that price doesn't change at all, so it's more reliable for us, unlike ads where like half the year they're worth half as much anyway. And third, why would I care if the platform isn't making all of the money? So I'm going to push the thing that's better for my audience, me, and everybody else, which is why I push Twitch subs, because you get free viewing on my channel if you're subscribed on Twitch. You don't get that on YouTube, which is why my memberships are so cheap, because I think that they're kind of a poor value for your money. But I digress. Anyway, blindirl.com/support. The named dwarves in the fort currently are Alf, Tyr, Glass Half Empty, Narc, Micah, Gory Paws, Amelia, Squizzly, and Akunzradre. I just say Anuk because I don't actually know how to pronounce the rest of it. Hekios, Anti-Lanix, Viking, Qin Earl Grey, Tiny Haj, Tiny Hippo, Seth TV, 409, Axe, a bunch of peasants, and Shorthast. And one of the peasants is named Good in Theory. Now, we have two religious dwarves in this fort. We have the Sacred Slaughter, but we also have the Exalted Blade. Now, the Exalted Blade is Tosid Guilt Monk. Tosid Guilt Monk is the religious leader of this fortress. He treasures the company of others and has little interest in joking around. He rarely feels discouraged, and he tends to not be swayed by emotional appeals. He is not particularly interested in what others think of him. He can handle stress and prefers that everyone lives as harmoniously as possible. He personally sees working hard as a foolish waste of time and does not feel strongly about the law, and doesn't care about art one way or another, and dreams of raising a family. He likes chromite, trifle pewter, green jade, alpaca wool, cows for their haunting moos, the words of the meditation of droplets, and the sound of the veneration of luxuries. When possible, prefers to consume gutter crewer, maize flour, and absolutely hates bats. He worships Urlith, the skeletal god of death and war, which is the most popular god of this faction. The skeletal god of death and war is the religion that he leads, of the communion of gods. I'm going to go retire this fort now. And I'm going to make 2 adventurers that are both members of this religion. We are going to make those 2 adventurers into vampires. Using one of those adventurers, I'm then going to kill the other adventurer. Once I've killed the other adventurer, I'm going to collect their blood, and I'm going to find this dwarf, put that adventurer's blood into a mug or a cup first, probably a backpack before that or a water skin, and then give this dwarf that blood in a cup, and this dwarf will drink it. I hope. Then I'm going to take that adventurer and I'm going to leave, and I'm going to retire that adventurer somewhere. And then I will reclaim this fortress. Why are we doing all of this, Zalvi? Because then we are going to do what we did with Cog, the dwarf that I followed for 10 years. But we're going to do it with this dwarf, and they're going to be a vampire. Basically, I just spent the last 4 years, 3 years in-game, building a fortress for Jack the Ripper. So we are going to be running a fortress that features prominently the perspective of a religious leader who's also murdering people. That's what I want to do. So maybe in the background we will have, you know, artifacts getting stolen, problems happening. I'm going to try and topple my own fortress from within while keeping it stable for 10 years. So that is the goal. Before I retire this fortress, just for safety's sake, first layer, second layer, third layer, I'm going to do a save and continue playing. And then we're going to retire the fortress. Actually, not a bad time because the ads just started, so speaking of ads. So now we can just do the retiring stuff. And to all those of you who are like, when are you doing another adventure mode run? The next time one of them tune in, chat, and somebody asks, when are you going to play adventure mode again? You can tell them that he did on the, what day is it today? Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Retire the fortress for the time being. Retire. Save world to this timeline. And something else I think I should probably do before I kill one of the vampires, we should probably go get some magic potions. You've never played this game, but you're watching my Gremlin video and saw that I went live? Well, hello! Welcome to witnessing how the sausage is made. Okay, so now we're going to start a game in an existing world. So it should be 2 forts. There it is. The year 214. You've got the same one? Really? Where'd you get it? From some idiot on the internet, no doubt. Actually, oddly enough, this one has a crack in it. I've noticed it recently. It's got this very thin hairline crack down there. But I've had this mug for like 5 years, so. No, actually not 5 years. Like 3.5 years. I haven't been nice to it either. All right, are they still available? Yeah. I haven't sold any merch this month, so hopefully they're still available. I will just real quick export Legends and run that in the background. Because why not update Legends for you guys? What are vampires like in DF? You should watch my video about vampires. They're criminals that you're intended to catch in fort mode. And a pain in the ass. We'll worry about that when we get there, I guess. Mostly a pain in the ass. They live forever. They kill dwarves randomly so that they don't get massive debuffs. And they can't eat or drink unless forced. Because they don't have any need to eat or drink. Well, they have need to eat people, but when it comes to drinking, they won't drink alcohol unless forced, so that's kind of a pain. And, yeah. You don't understand why making it is supposed to be gross? Well, it's because you're desensitized to how gross it is. It's like saying, I work for a sewage company. What do you mean the pipes are gross? Or I work for the dump. What do you mean garbage is gross? I'm just gonna update the Legends viewer real quick. So for those of you who use Legends, it may go down for a moment. If you would like to read the legends and history of this world in real time, since I'm updating it right now, you can go to legends.blindirl.net. And you can read the history of this world right... Wait for it. Now. Okay, it's now up. Should look like this. You can click Explore. And you can see the full history and the fortress that we are currently going to be adventuring back to. No, that's historical figures. I'm dumb. Sites. After Casket is right here. So, good luck, folks. Now we can back out of there and go into adventure mode. I don't personally feel that sausage being made is gross. But, like, some sausage is gross. The process itself isn't inherently gross, but some sausage is pretty gross. You know, like a well-made, like, higher-end sausage, not gross at all. Cheap sausage? I don't know, cartilage is pretty gross. But then again, I also am not, like, phased by going into a market or not a market. I'm not phased by going to, say, how do I put this? I am not even remotely phased by going to a pho place and just getting a bunch of tendon in my soup. I'm not bothered by that. Some people are. All right, so I think I might play as a chosen. Nah, let's just play as a hero. Let's play as a hero. Also, it turns out that somebody, doesn't say who, is giving away a mug goblin. Sorry, Mug Goblin is giving away a minecart certification mug to chat. If you would like a chance to win a minecart certification mug in Twitch chat, type an exclamation point. Enter! Thank you. It's very kind of you. Also, hello, Elephant. How are you? All right, so we're going to be a hero. Ooh, I got a black bear, man. Problem with that is that would make me a elf culture. I think I'm going to do a dwarf and a human. So let's do a dwarf first. The dipped volcano would make my life a lot easier. We can select our occupation and our beliefs. I'm going to select the communion of gods. So you're currently a doctor. I don't think a doctor. Chat, what should a religious zealot's day job be? I like the idea of them being like a jeweler or like a bone cutter or something. Like some sort of crafter. Butcher, 2 on the nose.
Adventure mode. Woohoo.
It's gonna be a short butcher, but we could do a doctor, but Synth, thanks for the 36th month, Spinner. I like that the idea. How about a leatherworker, like an artisan kind of thing? I think I'm kind of between like leatherworker or bone carver. This is mostly just backstory. This isn't like. Tebe, congrats! You've won a minecart certification mug. Click on that link to go redeem your mug. What's the main theme of religion? Death and war. This isn't the skills. This is just the occupation. We'll get skills afterwards. Now we can select where we start. All these are or where we can start. This is one of 2 possible starting locations. Let's go Bell's Earthen. So we are a leather worker who worships the communion of gods, which worships Ureth, the god of war and death. And we are a lady dwarf named Odom Grip Bell. I think we can do better with the name. I like a Stinthad. Let's be a Stinthad. But for the last name, this is going to be very on the nose. Stinthad Quest God. We're on a quest for our god, madame. Blood drinker? No. Oh, and she's going to be a very ardent worshiper. So she's going to believe as much as possible. I think an axe would be pretty good. You know, just give them the axe dwarf skill. I really like these presets. This is one of my favorite things. So that's our axe dwarf. We'll have above average strength, average agility, toughness, endurance, willpower, and spatial sense, and kinesthetic sense. I don't need to mess with these too much because all of this is preset, which is lovely. Her hair is dry. Her very long hair is arranged in double braids. Her extraordinarily broad ears are fused lobed. Her nose bridge is convex. She has low cheekbones, and she has a deeply recessed chin. She has a high voice, and her nose is extremely short. Her eyelashes are extremely short, and her eyebrows are somewhat high. Her hair is chestnut, and her skin is ecru, and her eyes are cobalt. A short, sturdy creature fond of drink and industry. She personally values independence, values decorum, dignity, and proper behavior, values tranquility and a peaceful day, and values eloquence, and dreams of raising a family. Tibe, thank you very much for the 5-pack. It's very kind of you. Cheers, mate. Chat, can I get a round of beers for both the giveaway mug, as well as Tibe being a real one? Appreciate you, mate. She's swayed by emotional appeals and generally unhindered by the thoughts of others concerning her actions, is slow to anger, can handle stress, and likes to brawl, though she is disturbed by this since she values quiet, at least in the abstract. She isn't given to flights of fancy, and she takes offered help and gifts without feeling particularly grateful. She has a greedy streak, and she is quite polite, and she likes to take it easy. Now, when it comes to adventure mode, I could customize all of this, but I'm not going to bother. Personally, for me, adventure mode on its face, not the most interesting. However, adventure mode as something that you go into with a idea in mind of what you would like to complete and a quest, very interesting. We're going to bring a aluminum, well, no, can't afford an aluminum flask. We're going to bring a zinc flask. Something light alongside of our water skin. And I think I'm just going to bring leather gloves instead of the gauntlets. Let's do lion leather gloves. Why not? A small leather helm, but I'll make it slightly nicer quality, and slightly nicer quality. Same with the boots. Because she was a leather worker. And I do have 60 points that I could spend. Let's just increase the quality of my helm. There we go. That'll do fine. We're going to accept that equipment. And she doesn't have any pets because we can't afford them. And I kind of don't want a pet to have to carry around. Aluminum flask in this economy? Yeah, you're right. I'm going to add a party member. And our party member... Goblin or human, chat? Who should our bard be? Because we are bringing a hired bard with us. Who should our bard be? I'm going to time you up from my chat if you keep on making questionable leather references, dude, in YouTube chat. I don't appreciate that. Like, genuinely, so I'm just going to remove those. Consider that a warning. I'm not a fan of jokes like that. I don't think they're funny. Can they be the Bearman? No. So the reason they can't be the Bearman is because the Bearman is very large and very strong. I wanted the Dwarf to be a member of the faction that I am playing so that they could be a member of the same religion. The Bearman would be very large, and because I'm going to be turning the Bard into a vampire and then killing them, they need to not be giant and super strong by default, which a Bearman would be. So they need to be either a human or a goblin so that the Dwarf will have a chance to kill them. Because if they're a bear, they'll be significantly harder to kill. I could make that the Bearman, but if I make them the Bearman, then they'll be much harder to kill. So I'm kind of leaning towards the goblin or the human. I don't want to do the elf because, like, then the elf would have to be part of a faction that I'm at war with, and that might actually make some things tricky. Because the nearest elven faction is at war with me. So the human or the goblin would give me closer areas to start. That would be easier. Chat saying goblin? Okay. Actually, now that I'm suddenly wondering, can goblins be vampires? I know they can't be necromancers. Goblins can be vampires, right? Right? I actually don't know. Checking wiki? Yeah, please check wiki. Let me know. And it's all good, Callum, in YouTube chat. Just, you know. It's not a form of joke that I appreciate. Just like I'm not a big fan of genocide jokes. I just don't find them funny. And I try to stifle out that kind of humor when possible. Wiki says yes, they can be vampires? Okay. Then we'll do a goblin. The Sugary Kingdoms. Well, that's funny. Where even is this? So the blinking area is the faction that character is culturally a part of. And I guess we'll do the Sugary Kingdoms because that's the closest. Because we're going to be going down here. So this is a human-cultured goblin because there's all of this up here and this down here. Although, is there anywhere else that gives us a closer place? So there's them over there, you up there, you down here, or dwarves over there. Yeah, so it's basically like right here. So now I need to select the town that they're from. Which I would like to be as close to where I'm going as possible, because this is a very big world, and I don't want to be walking for an hour. Although once we become vampires, we won't need to sleep, so that'll be nice. I guess that's about as close as I can get. Okay, you know what? Archlung is just a good name, which is a human town. A few hundred live there. We'll start in the Dwarven Hillocks, and then adventure to where I need to go. We're going to accept the background with Archlung. And this goblin is, What do we think, chat? Not a combat gob. Poet? Speaker? Singer? Stringed instrumentalist? Wind instrumentalist? Percussionist? Dancer? Well, they're not human, so are they dancer? Let's go with a male goblin. For the goblin's name... Their name is Death. Abby. Music. Make them a god tier poet. They could write a bunch of music. I like the idea of poet. Poet could be fun. High creativity, above average intuition, linguistic ability, novice swimmer. They all have novice swimming, by the way. Novice reader, adequate wordsmith, proficient poet. Sweet, we'll go with that. Accept attributes and skills. He has a very long beard, which is braided. One of these days, they'll add the sprites up there that give them beards. His very long sideburns are braided. His long mustache is neatly combed, and his very long hair is braided. His nose is upturned, and his red eyes are narrow. His head is very short. He has a deeply recessed chin. He has a low voice, and his splayed-out ears are extremely tall. His teeth are crowded, and his nose bridge is slightly convex, and his hair is amethyst, and his skin is dark olive. A medium-sized humanoid driven to cruelty by its evil nature. He personally sees competition as wasteful and silly, so he killed them, and doesn't really value merrymaking. He seeks out exciting and adventurous situations, is conflicted by this because he considers tranquility preferable to tumult conceptually, and occasionally overindulges and is troubled by this because he values self-control. He acts impartially, is rarely moved to mercy, and does not go out of his way to help others. He's troubled by this because he does not because he truly respects sacrifice. Ooh. Actually, hold on. Can I give you a god beliefs? No, I can't. Dang it. Oh, well. For this goblin's skills, we're going to give you a potter. Oh, well, it's fine. He tends to not be swayed by emotional appeals and is very humble, and he has a sense of duty. Okay, I'm not going to give you a halberd. You do have a pine carving knife. Let's give you a knife. Let's give you a iron carving knife. And maybe like a cougar leather helm. Trying to think. What should we give this goblin? Oh man, he should have brays. Sorry, I'm removing your skirt, Gobby. You're taking brays. Dingo leather brays. That's what you're taking. A poet bard who hates fun. Kettlars. MC Hammerpants, damn right, son. With sandals, mind you. Not changing the sandals out. The sandals are saying the same. By the way, we are going to kill this goblin, so don't get too attached to it. You have a backpack already. What if I give you... like a hematite crown. Fancy crown. Instead of the helm. And let's give you a scepter made of hematite. And 1, 2, 3, 4, however many points I can spend on scrolls. He's got a bunch of written scrolls. He's got writing material. So should he have something porcelain? Nah, that would all be furniture. Actually, I don't think... yeah, there is nothing porcelain that I could bring with him. Just by trade. I mean, like, that's just heavy furniture and shit, right? Socks and sandals. Yeah, it's actually... It keeps getting better, doesn't it? All right, so let's try not to let this goblin die. And that's our party. Little do they know that this hired help, this goblin, is not going to survive the day. Once again, I don't think that you'd be able to do that. Well, okay, no, you're not wrong. Okay, yeah, I will concede you can in fact do that. So how about instead of the scepter, we give you a kilonite scepter, and a kilonite bracelet, and a kilonite set of earrings. And I will increase the value of one of the scrolls. How's that? We happy? To adventure. So, I was going to go to this area, potentially. If anybody can find in Legends a temple in this vicinity to the god that I'm looking for, which is the god of Nak, the god of death and blah, 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 let me know. Otherwise, that's what I'm going to try and find. But there's a bunch of temples over there, so that's a direction we could head as well. Basically, we need to go here to our fort. I think it's right there. I think it's the first one. It might be the second one, but we need to go to one of these two forts, and we need to do that once I've become a vampire. But we may have to lie about who we are, because I will have killed my friend, become a vampire, and also, like, most likely committed at least a crime by that point. So you know. Your most trusted companion has made the journey to meet you here today. Let the party venture forth. Wow, it's so zoomed out. Welcome to adventure mode, friends. Yes, he put his crown on. Excellent. I'm just going to do a real quick save and continue. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll put out a ping on Discord for those of them who really want. And on Fluxer. Although I'll just post on Fluxer. I won't do a ping. Okay, so we now have my dwarf, who I can put the axe away, and we have our goblin. With the goblin, because we are a poet of some skill, I'm going to recite a poem. You know, and she sang snack is definitely what the lady that I went on the date with that last time did when she started eating my fries. The eyes in the cloudy bust, excuse me, is an example of the Dell of Drink. The work has no particular subject. Sure, it doesn't. But it is stunningly self-indulgent. Oh. Of course it is. Eldritch pinup? That's kind of what I was thinking. Eyes in the cloudy... It's like the lusty god or something. Home in the tubs. It must have been mortals. That's a very goblin. Lords ancient. That just is Cthulhu. My friend Quandary, my friend Shadow. Righteous Scaly. The Birth of Watch. So, I'm kind of thinking I should try and commit the murder of this goblin in my fortress and leave the body. So, like, we're gonna take this goblin into my fortress, hide somewhere, brutally murder him, fill up a mug with that goblin's blood, give it to the religious leader, and get out without getting caught. We here for it? You think we got this? That's the goal. Also, sparkles ever onward. It's not very good, which checks out. It's an example of the Dell of Drink, no particular subject. It's as vicious as can be. While the ad break runs. You begin reciting the poem Sparkles Ever Onward. Anybody who watches Formula 1 will find this very amusing. So now we get to see what everybody's saying. Let's see, we got a short dwarf who's saying that something's terrifying. What's terrifying? It couldn't be... This couldn't be much worse. The dwarves are not a big fan of this particular poem. We conclude our performance. Although Low Cheekborn's dwarf does say that he likes riddles. Now we wait for the ads to end, and then we will move up and out. We would have to tell a lot of really bad poems back to back. Also, that goblin is actually pretty good at poems. So, like, if you've never told a poem before and never written a poem before and have no speaking skills whatsoever, and you tell a poem that nobody likes, and you do that repeatedly, they might eventually start beating you up. But that's actually kind of challenging, unless you just try and start an argument with somebody who's already in an argument. Like, that would be very unlikely. And if they did, all I would need to do is tab over to the goblin and submit, like, put up a flag and surrender. So I don't think that would actually be a huge risk, I guess. But there's going to be a few places where we're going to need to save. All right, so I'm going to mostly control the game with the mouse. Because I think it's easier to follow if you guys can see the mouse. The goblin will follow me. Goblins don't need to eat or drink. How explaining heavy do you guys want me to be about the adventure? You guys want more like base explain stuff, or do you guys want me to be a little bit quicker? Is it true RPG as if you can trigger fights with bad musical performances or kill an NPC? You can also trigger fights by putting on a good musical performance and then leaving. Like, if it's, gangs will sometimes try to, like, hold you up, and then you can just, like, leave, and they'll be like, and then you can just, oh shit, pepper leaves? Oh, these are just leaves. They're not quite right. Oh, man. It's like the end of the season. That sucks. Never played Adventure Mode properly? All right, well, for clarity here, we're not making a vamp fort. We're putting one vampire into a fort. But I'm trying to infect one dwarf in a fort that's already existing, and that dwarf is not a vampire right now. So, in order to make that one dwarf into a vampire, I have to make a vampire, get blood out of that vampire, put that blood into a vessel, like a mug, and then give that mug to the person I want to infect, and they'll drink it. Like, that's a mechanic that happens in this game. If you give somebody people are very easy to poison and drug in Dwarf Fortress. You just give them a cup full of a liquid, and they go, oh, sweet, why did you just give me a cup full of vomit? and that's how this game works. So we need to kill. We're gonna make this goblin into a vampire and kill him. Is what we're gonna do. Which is why I have an armed dwarf and an unarmed goblin. That is the goal. Because that fortress worships the god of death. And I think it's very thematic and fitting for a dwarf that worships the god of death to go bring the gift to the highest ranking religious official in that fortress. That's the hope. So if you hit, okay, so let's just run through the controls, I guess, real quick. I can swap, I can look at my own character by hitting Z. If I hit tab, I can swap between the two characters. The one that you're playing is the one that gets hungry or thirsty. Goblins don't get hungry or thirsty, so we'll just be playing as the dwarf. So I will need to eat and drink until I become a vampire, because I'm going to make both of them into vampires. You know, you got your standard, like, interact stuff and whatnot. Search lets you search for hidden things like traps, or in this case, a slug. I could path over to the slug and pick it up. B, a slug. You pick up the slug. Then I could hit T, and then let's hope this is better than it was the last time I tried to do this. I could then throw the slug at the dense grass. I now threw a slug. That's how you know it's a good RPG. I searched the ground, found a slug, picked it up, and threw it. What else can you do? You can talk to somebody, which is like you can shout to just the general vicinity, or you can assume an identity. We'll need to do that. I accidentally moved by clicking the ground. You can start a performance. You can craft or butcher stuff. It's very basic, but you can do it. You can use an ability of which I can pet animal, or I can spit, so I can spit. Pew! Spitting does train your archery. Not very well, though. The fastest way to train archery is to pick up some sand and then throw it at something, ideally something that is sleeping, because it needs to be a living thing to do it. And then you could do... Okay, hold on. Let me look at this. This is what? G. Okay, so it would be Control R to start a macro, and then G, A, T, G, Enter, A. And then if I end the macro recording, and then go with Control R, and then hit Control P, uh-oh. So that, and then you just get up and, like, do this a trillion times. And then you just walk away. And that's how you train throwing. There's a lot of very gimmicky things in adventure mode like that. So, yeah. Yeah, and then you also have to macro the macro to then macro the macro, but I'm not going to do that because I don't actually want to train my throwing. I'm just showing off some basic random shit. Let's see what else we have. There's strike somebody. We're not going to worry about that just yet. There's wrestle, which is the hugging button, everybody's favorite button. We got the shoot or throw button, which you saw me using. Then we've got the yield, which is very important if you get mugged. Then they'll demand some of your items. You've got your quick draw, so pull out. Oh, actually, I've got to drop all of this random loam in my inventory. You've got quick draw, so you can draw stuff. If you can't draw your weapons, it's probably because there's something in your hand, so hit D to be able to drop it. You can lie down, so when this is set, or the little sprite here is flat, you're lying down. If you hit M, you can see your movement speeds, which currently I'm sprinting, apparently. I don't know why. I'm going to set that to walking so I don't get tired. As you can see, we're tired. I'm delighted after watching a performance. Moods are very similar in adventure mode to how they are in fortress mode. If you see a lot of traumatic or scary things, or if your dwarf is bored, you might need to fulfill some of your needs. So as an example, this dwarf is really religious. So I'm going to hit K on the keyboard, and I'm going to start a conversation with my god, and I'm going to greet the listener. Greetings, my name is Stinthad, quest god. And it's silence because I'm not a chosen and the god doesn't wish to acknowledge my existence. And I will continue, and I will ask about directions to... Let's see if I know where my own fort is, which is after Casket. I do not know where my own fortress is. I'm going to ask for directions to Lyric Mines. And silence, because I'm not actually a god. And then I'm going to say goodbye to the god. And if we look at this, you felt wonder after communing with your god. It was very effective. I could also tab over to my friend over here, and I could, I could recite a poem, and she sang "Snack." That's a very short poem. Then I could tab back over, and she feels delighted after watching a performance, and our recruit goblin Abby Music feels excited while performing. Wondering when you're here. Yeah, we left a message. We got put on call waiting for a while. So that's a little bit of like things that you can do in adventure mode. But you might be going, man, this is gonna take you a very long time to walk around here. Well, this is a dwarven settlement. I'm gonna put away my axe again, because they keep pulling it out when I swap players. This is some monk. I'm gonna greet the listener. And I say, this servant of Earth greets you, and they say, I am Ashen Ryclapt. Praise be to Naganak. So not my god. Wrong god, lady. Oh well. I'm gonna ask about state your values. I'm gonna state my value of, I don't know, the law. Always respect the law. So true, so true. So she agrees with me. Okay, no debating here. Easy peasy. I'm going to continue the conversation, and I'm going to comment on the weather and say that the weather is fine today. And she doesn't respond. I don't think I'm funny, so I'm going to tell a joke. And I say, so the giant masked lovebirds and the giant spider monkeys. And she goes, don't waste my time. And I will go, what about your family? And she says, the head of the family is me. And I go, okay. Goodbye. Doop-a-doop. Doop-a-doop. And periodically your friend will say things. They commented on something and I said it is terrifying. You will actually get interesting news and adventures. Like I can speak with my goblin friend, and I can bypass the greeting because we know who each other are, and I can ask about the surrounding area. And they say, ask me when I return to my home. So instead, I will do this the easy way and swap back over and continue the conversation from the goblin's perspective. And continue the conversation and ask about the whereabouts. Okay, so, I'm sorry, what? Selskar, the Icy Crack? Selskar, the Icy Crack is far to the northwest. And I received detailed directions to Selskar, the Icy Crack. I don't know what that is, nor do I know why I wanted directions for that. Let's ask about the surrounding area, though. She also says, ask me. So none of them know about the surrounding area. Well, that's not very useful. Let's ask about any troubles. We've got armies in the march, bandits, skulking vermin, and the missing treasure. Aruga. What do we got for the missing treasure? Aban Council Attic, the communion of gods, wants Plain Sutter the Beige Strangeness, the bronze short sword returned to Ashen Channeled. Last I heard, it was in the Sanctum of Power in Rimhild. Ask for directions to Rimhild. You receive a detailed description in the early year of year 6, the Yeti Munist, fresh morass, devoured an alpaca of the invisible door diamond in Rimhild. Cool. Good to know. What other troubles do we have? There's armies on the march? Who's marching? Armies on the march. The army of Rahl Lanceball is marching on dream figures. Terrifying. Let's ask for directions to dream figures. It's far to the east to receive a detailed description. There's a tavern there called the Inky Harvester. Lovely. All right. Enough babble. Who's ready for some adventure chat? Hit capital T and you'll pop to the fast travel menu. But it is fast traveling. Up at the top, you'll see a little yellow dot. That's the sun moving across the screen. And now we are in adventure mode. If you hit M from here, you can see this screen, which is the full map. It's supposed to be like a written map. This little blue dot is an army that is neutral. Red shields are armies that are not.
Adventure.
And if I hit capital Q, Naprox, thanks for making the chat move, along with the other people who made the chat move. Please help keep the chat moving. It's, for some reason, when I am very in heavy explaining mode, chat gets very quiet. So when chat's very quiet, I feel like I'm doing a bad job at informing people of my gerb. Or of what I'm doing. So if you think I'm doing a good job, help keep that chat moving and help keep interest up. If you would like to find a specific place, you can just go here and you can type it in. And as long as it's in your line of sight in the world map, it'll tell you where it is. So that's the fortress that we need to end up at. But I need to find a temple, is what I need. So I'm just going to go to Legends real quick, because I know approximately where we are. Let's have a look. Okay, so there's a monastery right here. If I open it up, I mean, it's the dipped volcano, but this monastery, Head Labors, is owned by the Natural Cult. The invisible door diamond, hey? We just saw that. They worship the deity of plants. I want a temple to the deity of death. This deity. Engrossed in the learning process? I mean, be cautious with that. It gets stuck. It's sticky. It's sticky. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm helping or if I'm just boring though. That's the thing. So, questions are useful, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Monastery. I do wish it would tell me what god the monastery was too. But is there like a site? Authored. It's authored. I'm not seeing any sites. Just people receiving the worship of. Many people have. I've never heard anything particularly bad about it. Aside from that, it runs a little slow. Let's filter this a little bit. What have we got? So these are the notable areas, which are the areas that we started. Actually, I wonder. No. It's like, it would be neat if my... Hey, look! Look at that. We have known Anouk our entire life. I was curious, actually, about how many... of our named dwarves we know. Because we've known Anouk. Peak Tomes, obviously our goblin. Yeah, it's literally just those. The Holy Contest of the Sculpted Cult. All right, well, let's just go find a temple and see what temple it is. Some of these towns will have their own little temples in them as well. Uh-oh, I have to cross a creek. That's fine. I was able to cross it. Here's a temple down here, south of us. This little collection. You know, it's funny, Woad Rider. It's like, I don't like touchscreens. I feel like a touchscreen would slow me down. Heavily. Is the music off? Nope. All right, well, we've found the first building of the temple. Typical temple fashion. It's very abandoned. The numlock in adventure mode? What do you mean the numlock? I mean, I'm using a numpad right now. Oh, do you just not have like a numpad on your keyboard? Let's view the pilgrim. Unknown pilgrim. Start a conversation with the unknown pilgrim. Greet the listener. Life is in a word, healing. Oh, well, some pathetic god this is. Work. Ask about the listener's profession. I'm a pilgrim. I would give anything to be away from here. I can't stand the boredom. Okay. I mean, if you insist. Let's ask about the surrounding area. So a bored monk, typical. Calm syrups, the ball field of rags. Calm syrup is in the bald field of rags. Aban Fountain Gulf is there. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna ask them why they're traveling. They visited the Hardy Temple in, can't say that word or YouTube will like remove my advertising privileges, papers in the late spring of 128. I'm gonna ask about any troubles. They've got armies on the march and the missing treasure. What's the missing treasure though? I desire that charcoal cunning, the robustness of lilacs, the magnetite figurine of forgotten beasts returned to my family. Last I heard it was held by the elf Vaki Tulip Shark. A flowery shark. Got it. Where are they? They're in renowned cobras, in the forests of stability. So by the way, with these quests that I'm getting, you can go to agreements and they'll pop up if you agree to go do them. You could also go look up the name of the artifact over here, because I now know the name of it. And if I find the location of it, then it'll show me it. But they told me the name of it, so I could look it up here and basically set like a quest marker type deal. Uh-oh, that was a little sketchy. Oh no, and there's no dice. Well, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's go south. That's what this is going to be a little bit. Actually, no, we need to go west. We need to go to the final building. Uh-oh. There is actually two things on the map now that I'm seeing that are interesting. We've got some sort of night creature or evil entity, and we've got an army that's evil. So that's fun. Wacky toe lips. Oh, wow. This is the busy room. This is where the party's going on. Hello, party goers. Howdy doosums. Oh, well. Anyway, this is the wrong temple. Or the wrong god at the very least, so we're going to move on. I do hope the music pops on soon. Maybe I'll put a little bit of time between the music. I wonder if that's the issue. I could steal a horse. Should we steal a horse? So if you want to steal a horse, literally just hit H on the keyboard. Actually, get rid of that. And then just claim it. And then you can right-click it, and you can mount it. Or you could lead it, but we'll mount it. Or you can click, I think it's this button. No, this button to mount it. And now we're on a horse. Whee! Also, we're never going to get a kill now. The horse is going to steal all the kills because horses are like kind of big and are very effective at kicking. So I don't know what's down there. But there's a beast down there. Big scary monster. That could be like a dragon, that could be an Etten, that could be a were creature, that could be a vampire. It's some sort of night creature. There is a temple south of us. It's down in the mountain hole over there. We're probably getting hungry, so I'll stop by near the river so I can grab a drink. I'm actually not, which is kind of... Oh, no, I am hungry and thirsty. So we're going to drink the water from below while on a horse. Don't ask me how. And I'm going to consume a prepared snail eyeball. And full disclosure, the reason I brought this horse is so that I could kill it and butcher it. If I need to. It's like extra food. Very long ladle. Right. Although, I will say, I should be keeping an eye on the trees. Because some of the trees may still have fruits in them at this time of year. Or like, oh hey, there's eggplants, but I don't think those are eatable. Yeah. Potato plants. Potato leaves are poisonous, just an FYI. Spinach is one of the better ones. So this over here is a red diamond oh, fancy. It's a red diamond statue of Id Howlscale. The item is an image of Id Howlscale, the deity of plants. Yeet myself off the horse. And I could be like, fake god. Ura says, at times, creeping things slither out from below the ground. The creature Ethel Metal Melt Flayed, the troglodyte. Oh, they're talking about some creature that came up from a lower cavern lair. Let's go south, this way. Yeah, lettuce plants. But I find that I find spinach plants more often. This is an interesting thing. Once again, we've just got books. And there's some display cases. No dice. Not a very easily piss-offable god from the looks of things. A very passive god, and not a vengeful one. What does the dice do? The dice give you almost a guaranteed curse, because you just roll them until they curse you, instead of having like a pretty low % chance that they curse you. It makes it easier to get cursed, basically. But you can also get gifts from the gods, which could be legendary weapons, amongst other things. If I go here and say path to here and then hit C, they'll path to here. I'm trying to get inside this because this is definitely a room. There it is. Okay, well that's the lunch hall. I will say just clicking is a much easier way to travel while being an adventurer. And there's one more spot that I gotta go check. This is actually something I was a little bit worried about because it's a pretty young world. So it's a chance that they haven't created any divining dice. But because there is the option to play as a chosen in this world, I'm pretty hopeful that we'll find some dice. Okay. Very unfinished temple. Pretty young religion or something. That or they're just not as good at fleecing their audience. Their people? Fleecing their people, yeah. Yeah, it's very kind of them to post it moly, but I asked them nicely to do it, so. My friend is texting me. I will respond to him later today. Oh, can't fast travel while you're on mountains, so we just have to walk a little further. And before you become a weresnail? Do weresnails exist? I've never seen one. Hey, look, there's a, that was either a skunk or a honey badger, one of the two. So there's an army over here that I need to go around. And now I will need to sleep because I'm not a vampire yet. So it's sundown. We are going to sleep until sunup. And the moon goes by. Drink some water. Eat snail eye. Poke around for edible plants. Nothing that I'm seeing. Everything's pretty sparse out in here. Yeah, not seeing anything edible. Oh well, we have to actually go hunting. There's some other temples over there to the right, so we're gonna go check those. Was that a single snore SFX? Yes. Well, it certainly wasn't a multi-snore SFX. You once got mauled by your own dogs in your sleep? Is that possible? I guess it is. Weird. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. There's also another neat thing is you discover all these caves while you're playing adventure mode. So when I go back into fortress mode, I'll be able to see these caves and I'll know what's there because I've seen them on my map in adventure mode. Meaning, if there's like a dragon close by, I will know as soon as I reclaim that fortress. Okay. An ad is about to start, so when the ad starts, I will save the game. Okay, next building is just straight to the right here. And the dog's turned on you? Okay, yeah, that would do it. It's weird that they would turn on you, though. What god are you worshipping? Greet the listener. Hello, I'm Thighcut Gold Kiss. What is the surrounding area? 123 Tortas upper body was ripped by a giant alligator. Well, that's lovely. Okay, I will leave. And I will save. But yeah, that sounds like then like something converted them or turned them to zombies. Can you die in fast traveling? I think it forces you out if you start starving. It will pull you out of... If you walk through like an area and you get ambushed, yes, you will get ambushed. But usually if you get ambushed, you can just like run. But like that'll happen if you're in fast travel or not, right? You might encounter hostile animals if you're in areas that are scary. Like if you go to the fast travel screen and then you go to the map screen, you can see where the untamed wilds are. And if you're staying or sleeping in a terrifying or untamed wilds area or a joyous wilds area, yeah, you're pretty likely to get ambushed. So like as long as you're utilizing your map and sleeping in areas that are like lower threat or like in towns, you're pretty unlikely to get ambushed in your sleep. YouTube chat. Yeah, it says it's playing music, but... Well, it says it's playing The Capital. I guess like it just hasn't had a trigger to play other music, which is weird. It's just a statue, and that's just a very low % chance to get a curse, so I will topple. Nothing. Sometimes animals just get out of control. Are you complaining about my horse? Fuse lobed barons. Baron consort of Groove Guild. Bypass greeting. Area. We're in the mire of yelling. Weird. All right. Top right. Looking for dice. Wouldn't it be very funny if I just go traveling around and find literally no dice? We may need to start forming a backup plan. Actually, the other thing I could do is I could go to a dwarven fortress because they have temples on almost every floor usually. Wonder if I can walk around this. I can! Glorious. There's also the hillocks, which may have temples in it, so I will look at the top right and see if I spot a significant location within the hillock. What is this? Oh, this is a dwarven temple or fortress. We're getting rained on. That's why there's water behind us. Seems like the nearest thing is actually south, yeah. So there is actually a dwarven fortress south of us. Yeah, I don't know. Dwarf Fortress is so full of weird interactions that I see a lot of things like referenced in a way or interpreted in a way where I'm like, I don't think that's a thing. And then like you explain like a few things about like the area that you were in at the time. Oh, this is like the beginnings of a fortress that never got constructed, I think. Oh, that's interesting. Can you hear thunder in the background? Yeah, I have genuinely no idea why it's not playing the music. I could try saving and quitting and reloading, but it's very odd. So I feel like it should be. But I should be able to fast travel out. Looking for significant structures. But yeah, if you guys want me to restart, just let me know. Heading in the general direction. So what was in that cave back there? Oh, there's a rock in that cave back there. Interesting. There's an Etten up there. A couple kobold camps. There's a bronze colossus that lives up there. Fun. Might be a bug. It probably, I don't know. It might be a setting, but like it doesn't look like it. I'm just gonna try and doing a real quick save and quit. Save and return to title. Because it's certainly not playing music. Like now it is. I don't think it's a bug. I'd be willing to, because like I remember adventure mode being very sparse the last time I played it, music-wise. But then suddenly just music started out of nowhere. And I'd be willing to suspect that it's like there's just not as many triggers for music as there should be. Or it's like very easy to end up in a situation where just no music plays. I'm just gonna, I don't know, set it to like 200 seconds between tracks and interludes. So we do have some silence. Let's see if that works. Continue active game. Wales adventure. But as I said earlier, chat, you guys have gone quiet again. It was almost 5 minutes of no conversation. Help me keep this chat interesting. Ask questions so that I can explain things. Or like, keep the chat up so I can talk about something unrelated. Otherwise, you guys are proving to me why I personally find it really difficult to play adventure mode on stream. Because, oh, you guys want to go see that neat volcano again? Let's go look at the neat volcano. The neat volcano, of course, being over here. We need to stop for lunch anyway. Let's eat an eyeball and drink a water and go this way. The neat volcano that's just in the middle of the pathway. Check this out. Can you cook in adventure mode? Nope. Makes me sad that you can't, but you can. It's pretty neat, hey? See, now music's playing. I don't get it. Weird. Farts can just tick along? Sure, but like, I'm looking at chat just as much as I normally am, and you guys keep getting quiet, so maybe it requires more focus on chat's end? I don't know. But I'm no more focused on this than I am when I'm playing Fort mode. I'm just looking over at chat and nobody's saying anything, so I don't have anything to, like, acknowledge or respond to, is what I would say. Do a backflip? There isn't a way to do a backflip. So that right there, on the lower half with the blue dot on it, that is my fort. I'm gonna go to this hillocks for the night. I'll sleep for 8 hours. That's the attempt, 10-pound bussy. Well, now I need to acquire some more food. Which means I'm gonna go steal some food. Because dwarves won't mind, right? Nyum. See what we got. Well, I can't eat that. Maybe there's food up top. Peppers. Nope. No edible substances in the general vicinity. I mean, 10-pound bussies in the YouTube chat. Yes. Herm. Hey, horsey. I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm gonna kill this horse. So let's do a little bit of combat. I'm gonna murder a horse. I'm going to strike this horse in the neck with a heavy strike with a hack from my axe. And it jumped out of the way, and I missed. Thankfully, I have a horse as well, and after a few hits, I hacked the horse in the head from the side with my battle axe, and the severed part sailed off in an arc. Excellent. Now I can put this away. I can stand above it and hit X. No. I can pull out my butchery knife, assuming I have one. I don't! All right, well then, I will step out of the way, and I will swap over to my goblin. I will pull out my stabby knife, because I do have a knife on my goblin, I think. Yes, I do. My iron carving knife. And I will butcher the horse. Then I will step out of the way, put away my knife, swap back over to the to the dwarf, and I will pick up my my meat. And this is how stories of alien abductions and livestock start. Now let's see, how overburdened am I? If I hit I and I look at my inventory, I'm not actually overburdened. Okay, that's good. It's like we just found this mutilated horse in the out in the field one morning. It was crazy. But they left its head completely intact. Weird. What happens if you're overburdened? You move slower and get tired faster? I'm just gonna put away my weapons, and I'm gonna right-click this ocean, and I'm going to fill my kangaroo leather water skin and my flask. I could fill my backpack if I wanted way too much water and if I wanted to be overburdened, but I don't really want to be overburdened. All right, let's take off and fly north, because we, I think, are gonna go to the temple that's, or not the temple, the Dwarven Fortress that's at the end of that road right there, because I think that's a Dwarven Fortress. Yes. This is a Dwarven Fortress. Right here. Which means it's probably going to be a little laggy. That's fine. I can't believe how well Adventure Mode runs now, and I know that some people think that Adventure Mode runs real slowly, but my god, it runs so well. Is there a size limit, or is it just weight limit? I mean, like, if you were strong enough, you could carry a whale. I mean, there is no weight limit. You just move slower. So, like, it could be it takes long enough for you to take one step that it cancels your movement and forces you to eat or drink, because you will die of starvation before the game's capable of taking one step. Like, you could theoretically move that slowly. We got a Swords Dwarf. Hello, Swords Dwarf. Also, if you're looking at Legends, you could, in fact, find these dwarves. So this is a dwarf who says, "Praise death! This servant of war greets you." I guess we found our place. I'm going to ask about the surrounding area. Gleamflower is in the distant prairie. Come desert, the famous Etten is there. That's the cave that I spotted on the overworld map earlier. make the horse carry the meat, but I can carry all of it and then I don't have to take it off of the horse to eat it. Actually just gonna... So it's playing 2 tracks at once now. Actually, let me try something. I seem to recall trying this earlier to confirm something. All right, no. Is it ambience then? So we've got the combat beat, but we've also got the music playing, which is funny. Not ideal, but funny. Oh, hey, it stopped. Actually, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to turn down this and turn up this. All right, so now we can just auto walk because we're not in a dangerous area. We're both hustling, lying down and staring at the screen. Got it. I have this photo of my ex's cat watching Star Wars and swiping at Harrison Ford's face. There must be a fight happening in here. Like somebody's fighting. The other question is, where's the door? Have I not already done a full loop of this? Door was on the west side? Oh, did I just walk past the door and not see it? Let's see how tall it is. Oh, very, very low. Let's see if I have the skills to climb it. I don't. So you can't actually train climbing non-constructed walls. So if you want to train climbing, like you just have to repeatedly climb a wall like this. Getting my steps in, indeed, yes. Okay, there's plenty of gear there that I could just go grab and they'd yell at me and call me a criminal, but they wouldn't stop me. This is what we're looking for. It's the deity of fish. I'm just gonna, my friend has sent me about 12 texts in the last 20 minutes. I'm just gonna send him a text saying, I'm working, I'll get back to you later. All right. I thought that god didn't play dice. No, it's just all the temples either had the dice stolen or I didn't find any dice. Let's see if there's any additional dice. Oopsies. It's actually easier to do this with the keyboard. There's another temple to the fish god, but that one doesn't have dice. That's a lot of ponies. Also, let me know if you want me to turn down the music now that it's working. There's more dice. Which god is this? An image of Cybrek. Dwarves in native platinum. Cybrek is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the election of the dwarf Cybrek. Gold fords the position of sacred slaughter of the communion of its gods of the year 200. Meaning, let's see what we can do. Okay, so you're gonna stand back up real quick here, friend. You're gonna put away your weapon, and you're gonna grab this dice. It's an Alunite dice. Then what I need to do is, on the keyboard, I could either go capital I, so Shift I, or I could open my inventory. I could go down to the dice, and I could click on this, which is interact, and then I can roll it. You roll the divining die according with the practice of the communion of gods, and you have been blessed with a week's good fortune. I'm gonna grab it again. And right now, I'm going to quick save. You'll just lick it. If you try to eat non-edible items, they just lick them. You're about to hit the save the game. We're on the same. Although I will say, if I get polymorphed into a sheep, I might just like let it play out because that's funny. basically like you roll the dice once and you'll get a relatively neutral response. You roll the dice twice, you'll get a more extreme response. You roll the dice thrice and you're in the curse zone. Sometimes you roll the dice once and you immediately get cursed. You roll the dice, the divining die of Urath. According to the practice of the communion of gods, it comes up with will. Oh no, we shall not be able to smith anything for a while or we'll get turned into a plate of spaghetti. And you know the will of Urath. Do not tempt fate, the god of death. Now I gotta pick it up again. Capital I. Oops, no, I don't wanna. Just lowercase I, not capital I. Apparently uppercase I is name. I was wrong. I don't want to name my sock, which would be funny, but... Hubris! The god appears before us. That's what the god looks like, by the way. I thought he was supposed to be a skeleton. Maybe we only depict him as a skeleton, but... Oh. Well, that's no good. Time to go back to a save. Our goblin here is now a were creature. Continue active game. And now we begin with the gimmicking. There's only like 1 or 2 alive vampires in the world, I think. And that would take a very, very, very long time to find one. Okay, so let's take this dice. Oops, it's already in my hand. I'm gonna scroll down, roll the dice, roll. Do not tempt fate. Yeah. I get it. Hubris! Yay, there we go. That's 1. We have acquired 1 vampire. Yay! All right, so now what I'm going to do, because we've been cursed to prowl the night in search of blood, I'm gonna oversave our save. That was fast. I mean, it's been like an hour. I guess we have different definitions of fast. Captain Radiator, thanks for the Primbus. Oh no, we suck now is basically how this feels, Captain Radiator. Also, thank you very much for the 6th month with Prime. Appreciate you, mate. Thanks for helping keep the channel funded. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it yesterday because I thought we were going to miss it, but we made the daily minimum yesterday by $1. So, yay. Okay, so now I'm going to swap. Put away my axe. Otherwise, I won't have any hands to pick up the dice. And I'm going to roll. Also, one of the reasons I don't like playing as animal people is you don't see the weapons on them. So it's harder to be aware of whether or not your sword is in your hand currently or on your back. And I find it a lot easier to play adventure mode, actually, just like as like the biggest quality of life thing for me with adventure mode is the fact that you can see their weapons. Because like, if you, that's fine, beer yourself all day, man. You deserved it. You earn it. You've earned it. If you don't know what's in your hands, it actually makes picking up stuff a lot harder. And I've had people in my comments before be like, why can't I pick anything up? And I'm like, are you playing an animal person? And they go, yes. I'm like, your hands are definitely full. So it's one of those things that like, it's maybe the hardest thing to learn in adventure mode is like, what is in your hands? Because like, you can't pick things up if your hands are full, right? We're gonna roll the dice. Oh no, my dwarf has a week of bad luck. Anyways, let's interact with our dice and roll it. Do not tempt fate ×2. They gave us the word search. That seems to be an omen, if I ever saw one. Hubris! You've been cursed to prowl the night in search of blood. Excellent. So now I've got 2 vampires. Good news is, I no longer need that food that's in my inventory. Double pyre all the way across the sky. I'm going to do another save. Oopsies. No, you just need to be angry enough to go get it. Sometimes the god will have a sense of humor. Like, if it's not a god of death, you'll get things like, you know, less curses and more like, you get a massive debuff to learning. Sometimes you'll get like gods of wealth or generosity will give you things like stacks of coins, or like, will give you things like fancy armor. Although ironically, if it's like a human god and you're a dwarf, it'll give you human-sized gear, which is fun. All right, now we have a few options. We can go straight to my fort and try and complete the goal. Oh, by the way, that icon means that there's somebody who I can suck. There's also going to be a thing that's going to pop up in my health description here that says thirsty, and it's going to be red. When that pops up, it means that I need to suck something. A stack of money? No, the worst curse is you've become a sheep for a week. Sometimes they'll heal all your wounds too, which is fun. God, this runs so much better. Why is there blood up here? Tasty. Oh my god. The hell's going on? I'm sorry. The slit eyes present to slit eyes armor. I found myself dead. Okay, was somebody lying about being somebody else? Something's going on here. Errol Dodak Razor's mangled corpse covered in a pile of platinum blocks? I mean, I have a horse for that. It's fine. 94 tails. Does anybody want to go look up Errol Dodokazar? Actually, hold on. I'm going to assume an identity. I am no longer... What was my name? Stinthad. Quest God. I'm gonna go over here so that they don't hear me. Shh. I am now... Abby... Abby's. I'm now Abby's. I'm very creative. Okay, so I'm now Abby's. Don't mind. Trust me. That is real. I'm Abby's. I'll tell you in a second. Errol Dodakazar. You just met a guy with the last name Brass Wipes? Bruh. Ass wipes. I see what you did there. Also, there's two deaths, actually. There's Errol Dodakazar, and then there's also Volbok Thaidas Katan. Can I just do that? Yeah, but then they'll all know that I'm a vampire and probably try to kill me. 94 tails. I could put some of it very incognito, like into like a flask or something, and then they won't. But if I just go down there and start licking the floor, they'll be like, "The fuck," and probably accuse me of being a night creature. Because I am. They would be right, actually. There's some weird discussion going on around here about dwarves dying. I'm assuming that you're trying to say a necromancer, but I really like a necropantser, which is how I read that. So there was a necromancer? Oh, I guess so. Somebody like in there was a necromancer and like lying about it, and then they caught him and killed him probably. Yeah, they'll accuse me. Well, they'll accuse me of being a night creature. But yes, vampire. I'm gonna go see if I can get some potions first. Because there's a place where I can go get potions over here. Why don't we use necropancers? I mean, isn't a necropancer when, like, you pants a skeleton? Just gonna wait till the sun goes in. We're also about to get hit by an ad break. All right. Under the cover of darkness. They steal the pants off dead people? No, they steal the pants off zombies. Because stealing pants off of dead people would just make you a grave robber, not a necropancer. Oi. What's that cryptid that's just legs? Turn into a vampire and then immediately finds dead dwarf. Super suspect, not gonna lie. I don't know. I think this is normal dwarven affair. I mean, there would be like at least 24 of them if it was one of Deep Space's forts. So it checks out as far as I'm concerned. Necropants reminds you of the Finnish shamans that ask their friends if they can skin their lower halves on death to make magic pants. What the fuck is wrong with the Finnish? Man, like, are they okay? Jessica Rabbit, yikes. It's not free. I have to get beaten up to get it. No, free blood is when you find a sleeping goblin in the wilderness. Or a human city at night when everybody's sleeping. Could make your vampire drunk? Something that I really like about adventure mode, because YouTube chat buffering says, wouldn't it be great if the level of intoxication of your victim could make your vampire drunk? Something that I really like about adventure mode is that it has an accurate level of... It correctly respects the alcohol percentage in drinks. In Fortress mode, dwarves only drink about once every 3 weeks. But they do drink about once a month, right? Whereas in adventure mode, if you just go drink like 3 drinks back to back, they're 1 liter-ish per mug. And they're all about 40% alcohol. So if you're playing as a human and you drink 2 of those, you die of alcohol poisoning. If you're playing a dwarf, you can drink 3 of them and you die of alcohol poisoning. Icelandic? Okay, what the fuck is wrong with Iceland? Same sentence, but Iceland. So I'm trying to get some magic potion. Okay, so the goal here is to get in, get magic potion, and get out alive, which may actually be a challenge. Good. 2 of them are sleeping. So I'm just going to go up to you, and I'm going to right-click. What? Why can't I suck? I guess I'm not thirsty. Oh, well. Big shame. There's so many downstairs. Oh, my God. That is pretty dope. But also real scary. Curious broth. And has 2 skirts on. And a dress. They're all awake. Well, these ones are. All right, well, I'm gonna go up the stair. Zip. Bye, a horse. Oh no, not my friend. Friend, run. That's dumb. I need you alive. Friend, no. I don't want to have to reload. Okay, well. Keep on trying to use the old hotkey, not the... Okay, Goblin, how are you doing? You're bleeding heavily. Well, okay. I'm going to go to my inventory. And I'm going to drop my water. I'm going to go to my inventory. I'm going to drop my water. I'm going to go to my inventory. I'm going to drop... That's all my water. Okay. I'm going to go here and I'm going to stand up. And I'm going to go for the Ibex person who's currently recovering. I'm going to go for the head, which I can hit normally, but very square. I'm going to go for a heavy attack for the most damage, and I'm going to hack him in the head. And I missed. And dodge. Can I get Abby Music's blood? Okay, so I put Abby Music's blood into my backpack. I then put it upwards in my backpack. I'm going to move up to here. I'm going to strike. What can I do here? Lower body very square if I scratch them. Okay, let's do a multi-hit. And then I can hit them again. Ooh, I'm just going to charge them. And then I had to hit period to act, so I try to scratch them, which I do. And I charged them, which knocked them out of the way. I'm gonna fill my flask with the goblin blood. I'm gonna fill my water skin with the goblin blood. This creature is regaining balance. Can I get a good hit in on you? These things are real tough, usually. Hit you in the head, and I'm going to go for a heavy hit. Oh, got him. So the thing is, bleeding heavily. If I can kill this guy, and I can get this curious broth off of him before he drinks all of it, I'm gonna jump at him. Then I can give it to the goblin, and he'll drink it, and it'll heal him. And he'll survive. I'm gonna hack him with my axe. Got him. Sweet. The thing is, he's already consumed some of his drink, so there is a non-zero chance he'll, like, heal in a moment. So let's just go for the neck, go for a heavy hit because he's downed. I get free hits, basically. Hit him in the neck. Got him. Okay. So what I need to do now is I need to step onto this. Take that. Then jump over here. No, buddy. I do already have the blood that I need, but I was trying to save my friend, okay? It actually, you know, honestly, this does work because I was able to get the blood out of the goblin. I just thought it would be fun and dramatic if I, you know... That's all. I don't know. Now I can just fight some bears. I'm actually gonna dodge, I think. That's because it's trying to grab me, so I'm just gonna dodge west. You missed. We still also have the horse. If I hit Shift A, which pops up this menu, it tells me all the different attacks. So this one's attacking me right now, which I could block. Which I blocked. This one's attacking me. I also won't get tired. Just strike you. I'm just gonna hack at your leg. There goes a leg. I'm gonna hack at you, and wherever's obvious. Just gotta get them bleeding. Hack you in the head. I got an attack of opportunity if I kick it. Sure. The attack of opportunity kicks it, which bruises the muscle and tears the neck. They're still sleeping. Yeah, they're very deep sleepers. Don't worry about it. I was hoping that they wouldn't have a ton of mounts, but they did. This will be successful, though. I can just bump attack now. So I can just auto attack, which will just take whatever the game discerns as the... let's dodge west. It'll give me whatever the game thinks is the most effective hit, basically. But let's just pummel it in the head. Although I missed, I need to stand up. Let's slap you, actually, with the side of the axe. Slap the cave bear in the upper body with the battle axe, which shatters the ribs. Go for the neck, hack it, which I missed. It was a difficult hit. Let's go for the right front leg and hack it, which lodges the axe in the wound, which means now I need to interact with my axe. Oh no, never mind it. I managed to get it out. Let's attack again, because sometimes it'll be like, oh no, the axe is lodged in the wound. I can get a direct hit, which is an attack of opportunity, why the exclamation part's there, if I slap it in the head, which I did. Hurts the spine. It's probably going to die, so I'm just going to go help the horsey. I'm going to throw myself this way. Yeah, I can't breathe, so it's gonna die of suffocation. Let's jump over onto this cage, because I think they're both right there. Yep. Attacking horse, recovering from attacking me. I will attack the one that's recovering. And I will go for the... Let's go for the neck and hack it. I missed. So I did a adventure run back when adventure mode first launched in regards to breaking fingers. And I started with 0 skills in anything. And the way I trained fighting was I went into a town full of humans and just went from town to, like, room to room to room to room to room, pinching everybody's noses off. You just grab their nose while they're sleeping until their nose comes off, and then you drop the nose and walk to the next room. Until I had, like, modest combat skills. I'm just gonna hack him in the head. There you go. Not the most optimal way to fight, but I know that we're already in the advantage situation here. And hack you in the head. Actually, I can just auto-attack this. There we go. Now I just got this one left. And hack him. Because the funny thing about sleeping creatures in Dwarf Fort is... I'm going to pick up my friend's body. Actually, I'm going to take the ring, which I'm going to wear. And I'm going to take the crown. Then I'm going to take your body. We're going to go give our friend a Viking funeral here. Okay, so I've got curious broth, and I've got 2 things of drink. I think my horse is going to die. Oh well. So if I go to my inventory, as you can see, my burden cap is 232. The reason I'm not overburdened is I'm a vampire. If I was not a vampire, I would be overburdened right now. But vampires get a lot of strength bonuses, so I'm going to take my friend's body and throw him in a volcano. Also, I'm aware I just left my horse behind. That's okay. But unfortunately, our friend did need to die. Where's that volcano that's in the middle of the roadway? Oh, there it is. It's down there. One Goblin Corpse sounds like the name of a death metal song. Oh, never mind. The horse made it. Okay. Well, that's surprising. And immediately gets into a fight and kills a honey badger. You know? Typical homicidal horse. All right, chat. Would you like to say any final words to our goblin friend? Can I turn my horse into a vampire? No. I cannot. They tend to do that, Jagna, in YouTube chat. Hubris. For a second there, I thought I wasn't For a second there, I thought I wasn't strong enough to actually throw the corpse, and it was just gonna fall onto the ground. Goodbye, friend. What a beautiful scene. I'm just gonna do a real quick save. You're disgusting, YouTube chat. That's all I have to say to you. Come on, chat. Can we get some Fs, please? We only got one. Or like lava. Like let's properly respect the dead here. He was our friend. He donated his blood so that we could forward the goals of our God. And as we stand here, I'm going to scream at my God. I'm going to have a conversation with my God. Greetings, my name is Colette Abby. I'm lying to my God. Gonna brag about my past violent acts. I am the killer of frost dunes who sought my praise only to be rejected in death. I'm gonna comment on the weather because it looks fine today. And chat wants me to tell a joke. So the Forgotten Beast and the Capuchin Man. God didn't respond. I'm going to say goodbye to my God. We're going to go be the bringer of death. We're going to follow the road. Actually, no, I need to go north. Northwest. Follow that road. Schizo praying? Isn't that just praying? All right, let's just go to like right here, even though I can't fast travel over this, and follow this road. Follow the sandy road. Follow the sandy road. Can a god smite you for telling a bad joke? There's almost no interactions with gods unless... That was the fortress loading. Unless you are playing as a chosen, which I am not. Chosens can directly talk to their gods. I just have to say that somebody just followed me who has the name of the last fort that I played. Or name related to the last fort that I played, which I think is funny. So now we need to find the Sacred Exile. Game's loading. Give it a sec. Player forts always take a little bit to load. Do these chats stack up when you aren't chosen and you see them when you become chosen? You can't become chosen. I had a fort named Squidward. My last fortress was named Squidward. This current fortress, which I'm going to, is called After Casket, but the one I played before this one was called Squidward. You had fun trying to get Dwarven drunks to survive long enough as companions to be skilled weapon users. Never got any to survive long. It takes a while with friendlies because they're not the most smart. The easier way to do that is to simply train a bunch of dwarves in fort mode and then play as a chosen and then convince those dwarves that you've trained in fort mode to follow you. He was so poetically gifted. That is true. This should be something I can climb, shouldn't it? Oh, huh! No, it actually isn't. This is like a much worse road than I thought it was. Let's just climb to here. as I manually climb up here and past up here. I feel like we're almost up there. This is such a fucked road. Holy shit. What is the arrow with the blue arrow in brackets? The blue arrow means that that's audio. So like somebody making noise. There's a dwarf down there who's loosely following us. There we go. Now we're in the area that I've worked on, I think. I recognize this. Haha! I found my fort. Glorious. We've made it, folks. That's a fancy axe. No, why am I going back? I clicked on a wall. Yeah, this was what we were hearing. Let's say hello to you, greet listener. Greetings, my name is Kulet Abiabis, the servant of death greets you. Hello, my name is Duscott Ray Syrup. Oh, I know you. Wazer up. Ray Syrup. Life is a word, death. Our friend met death recently. It was sad. There's all the figurines I tried to sell and clearly didn't. Seems like most of the dwarves are chilling over here. There's a planter. Why are they all hanging out in the prison? There's honey badger blood. Well, that makes sense. I do know what this dwarf looks like, so I'm just gonna... Well, actually, I should probably go to the tavern, now that I think about it. I should go to the tavern because then I can get a goblet. Yeah, excellent. Uh-oh, someone's telling a story, so that's going to take a while. Is in the middle of the story of the appointment of the dwarf Micah to the position of manager of the mountainous vale in the autumn of 211. The low cheek bones administrator stumbles over the details and finished performing. J Cashman 58, thank you very much for the brand new Prime subscription. Checking to get a round of beers for the brand new Prime sub. Also, it's dancing time. Oh, seems like we know who Micah is now. I'm gonna grab a silver goblet in my left hand. I'm going to take out my zinc flask. And I'm going to place the blood. Actually, no, I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to do it where there's less goblets around so I know I'm doing the right one. Then I'm going to place the single unit of blood into my goblet. Then I need to place my flask not in the goblet. I'm going to remove, maybe actually wear. Yes, wear the flask. I'm also going to wear my fancy crown. Excellent. A fitting vessel, damn right. I'm going to tell a story about a person or creature Oh, Frostdunes was the cave bear that we killed. That's interesting. I'm trying to remember the name of the goblin. I kind of immediately spaced on the name of the goblin. Does anybody remember the name of the goblin? It's literally on the blood in my inventory. I could just go look. Abbey music. Was possessed of an unusual destiny. Should I be sus? We should be sus, shouldn't we? Music's so good, how could I not? You begin the story of the moment when Urith cursed the goblin vampire, or abbey music, to prowl the night in search of blood in the mid-autumn of 214. You stumble over the details. Dwarf with a red crown shows up, tells the story of how a goblin became a vampire, has mug or goblet in hand full of mysterious red liquid. It's gonna take a while because the game is processing a lot of other actions. We stumble over the details and conclude our performance. They don't seem to care all that much. There you are, a splayed-eared exalted blade. Greet the listener. My name is Kulat Abiabis, servant of Urith greets you. Hello, I'm Tuset Guild Monk. Life is in a word, war. Do you have a story to tell? Hey, it works. I'm gonna offer my service. You are hereby charged to retrieve the Elder Lightning from Age Caverns of the Communion of Gods. I'm going to ask about the local ruler. The Mountainous Vale rules After Casket. I don't know anything else about them. Join me in an insurrection. I love how it always just jumps to 11. I'm going to make a flattering remark. And they say, spare me the compliments. I'm going to continue the conversation, and I'm going to end it. Let's grab somebody else here, like this obese weaver. Who's the obese weaver? Or the peasant, maybe? Great peasant. Onul Citybanks. That's such a good name. Let's see if there's anybody else that I know who would be named. An engraver, the miner might be named. Who are you? Hey, it's Tyr. Found Tyr, chat. Do you have a story to tell? Asks Tyr. How reacted I am to being the curse? I don't think actually getting cursed is going to negatively affect you, really. Although I do get grim satisfaction because I'm a vampire. I am very thirsty right now, which is kind of a problem. I should murder somebody before I leave. I'm going to see if I can go to the Exalted Blade, bypass greeting. So I'm going to real quick actually save game. Because this should work. But this is there's a lot of theory going on here that this will work. But it's good to see you. Suited, how you doing? We're going to have to eat somebody before we leave, though. If you go back to this to Fortress mode, will your adventurer try to complete any quests? No, the adventurer will stay exactly where I left them because there was somebody I was playing. If they're not a member of the party and like just a person that the adventurer knows they were hanging out with, they'll go off and do other things. They won't try to complete quests, but the game expects me to want to play as the adventurer, so the game tries to keep the adventurer alive, basically. Oh, there's a mayor. Could greet the listener. I am Dodok Hatchet Chapel. Such a good name. But let's continue the discussion with the Exalted, who is right next to me. I'm going to ask about the surrounding area. Ask me when I've returned to my home. Okay, so that's just the game's way of saying I don't know. Give item. Gonna give you the goblet. And show it to them. And they say, are these gifts? Do you wish to trade? Got so much blood in my inventory, it's ridiculous. Just got back from your dental cleaning, gotcha. Listen to 21 Pilots discography during your dental cleaning? In 2021 release, I didn't know that they were still releasing music, but although I don't think I could pick a 21 Pilots song out of a crowd. This should work. Let's wait a turn. Pets, pets, pets. I acquired something, it pleases me. You should drink that. There's a goblet on the ground here now. Okay, so the goblet is now empty. Did you consume it? Fuck. Did they dump it out? No, because it would be on the ground. Are we not contagious? I don't know if he drank it. It doesn't say that he felt any pleasure. Let's try again. I could also, try giving him this, the flask. Maybe someone else drank it near them. That's possible. Oopsies. Otherwise, I may have to be a little bit more picky about this. I could also try mixing it with alcohol. Let's try that. So let's go to here and grab a silver goblet. Let's fill. Inventory, let's go down to you, silver goblet. Fill. Silver goblet from barrel. I need to not accidentally cause him to die of alcohol poisoning too. I need to place booze. Okay, I need to pour dwarven wine on the table. Was that all of it? Okay, so I need to place the... Okay, so I'm going to place the blood in the goblet. That's the first thing. Then I'm going to step onto the table, and I'm going to pick up the dwarven wine, which I then put into my backpack. I'm then going to take the wine out of my backpack and put it into the mug. So, now, in my inventory, I have a mug that contains, from what I can tell, just blood. Okay, well, I tried. Let's see if I can try this again. Oh, don't worry, I've done that. I'm not too worried about the quantity of blood that I have. So I got the blood in the cup, but I've also got 3 blood in there, and I could very easily make more blood. Making blood is not an issue. It's getting him to drink it that's the issue. Trade ya. Oh, I see. I fucked up. Let's just throw the empty goblet there. That's fine. This isn't suspect at all, is it? Let's get this. I picked the booze up with my hand, and I'm going to place the booze in the goblet. Okay, so now I've got what should be a mix of wine and booze, and wine and blood in this cup. All right, let's see if that'll do it. I'm trying so hard here, chat. In theory, I should be able to do this, but... Because I've definitely, given things drinks before, and then they drink it. Okay, so I'm just going to... I cannot rest until I leave this site. I'm going to rest. Ask if I can rest. I might need to buy a room. Are you trying to make a Bloody Mary? Oh, it's bloody, all right. Drops the silver goblet. Like that. Okay, so... He did drop it. And it is empty. He's moving. You're right there. There's one cursed creatures on map. It's me. I don't know, chat. My plan might be foiled. Do we need to use our blood? I don't know or think that would be any more or less effective, if that's what you're asking. Because drinking blood is how you make a vampire, period. Full stop. All right? I mean, the other thing I could do is I could just leave this dwarf here and we could use this dwarf as a plan B, but that is much less exciting. In my opinion. I mean, I don't know how that's a debug mode. I'm trying to force an interaction that is unlikely to happen. Anyway. Biting does nothing? According to the wiki, biting won't convert somebody. But then everybody will know even if it did. I was under the impression that it would. Hold on. Let me just do something silly. Drop this. Fill my backpack. Fill that. Fill that. Okay. So now I just have a bunch of extra blood around. I could drink that, and I'm still thirsty. Drink that times 2, and I'm still thirsty. Might need to use water instead of booze, possibly? Trying to think where the nearest source of water would be to here. Just going down to the caverns real quick to go get some water. The only water source is in the caverns. Water laced with mud, lovely. Let's drop one of the water. Get water, put it in my hand, put 1 unit of water in the mug, put... Okay, hang on, how much blood do I have? I need to check how much blood I have. I've got 3 over there, 2 there. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna pour 1 blood into the goblet. Pour 1 blood, nope. Oh, I see, they put both of them in there. That makes sense. Let's see if that'll just walk me into the cavern or into the fortress, which it should. Sweet, it does. Yes, I'm sure I wanted to do that game, thanks. Let's move over into here. There you are. It could also just be one of those, like, takes a while to kick in things, but... He is euphoric due to inebriation, so he's had a drink. Wouldn't you be concerned if somebody just kept repeatedly giving you cups? Although I'm going to take this back. Over my dead body. Oh, he refuses to give me the item back. Okay, fine. Let's see how long. Oh. Ha! Look. If it's going to work, that did it. So to the person who said put water in it, you are a genius. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Let's hope that worked. And he drops the goblet. So it's not list. Okay, so hold on. If I do curse check, it says there's one cursed unit on the map. So he did drink the blood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, how do I test this? I'm going to leave and retire this adventurer. But I'm going to save it as a different save file and see if that worked. Because that's about as likely of a success as we're going to get. Just curious, is there anybody over here? Nope. We can't fire these, which is a bit of a shame. But stop action. Who are you? I mean, you're allowed to be a genius and also not realize it. It's fine. I do like the suggestion of, are you trying to make a Bloody Mary? So if that doesn't work, then my plan is foiled and I need to figure out a plan B. And I think plan B is just going to be reclaim this adventurer and after making a place for the vampire to put their blood, which I'm not thrilled if I need to do that, but if I need to do it, oh well, we'll do it. If I leave it in the fort, it'll just get spilled when I reclaim it, because all like liquid carriers like the one I have are going to get dumped out. But if I don't do anything with this dwarf's inventory and just move them somewhere else and I start playing as them again, they'll have all of their inventory as they were, so. Oh my god, there's so many like refugee groups or like random traveling armies or traveling groups. That's wild. Basically, I would need to build something specific to prepare for this. All right, let's fast travel. Game's just being laggy because it's unloading my fort now. But all those blue dots are like neutral entities on the overworld. They could be like individual bards or something else. Okay, so I'm going to retire at this location or rest for a while. Save to a new timeline, and we're going to call this Vampire. Follow the Vampire. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. Animals cannot drink blood and become vampires, by the way. This is the 5th time I've answered that question, YouTube chat. I understand that it's something that people want to ask, but no. Only sentient creatures are capable of becoming vampires, and no, your puppy isn't sentient as much as you think he is. He does make a good coat, though. Okay. Start new game in existing world. Follow the vampire. Well, vampire bats exist. I want to say that there are some animals that naturally are vampires, though. Like leech people have the vampire suck abilities, just naturally. So do mosquito people. Like, they don't get the strength bonuses of being a vampire, but, like, they just do that. Like, you can just do that if you're playing as them. Is there a vampire Batman? I don't actually know. Let's check in Legends. Guilt Monk. Come on. No! I don't think it worked, chat. Although somebody died to a cave crocodile. And a troll. Apparently Vikings settled there. That's interesting. A dog bled to death and a dwarf bled to death. Also, it looks like, hold up. The human dancer of the Union of Butter corrupted Viking. Oh, that's good. Okay, well. I don't think it worked, chat. I don't think it worked. Sure. Mermaids could be vampires. If you could get a mermaid to drink something, but I'm so bummed. In the mid-autumn of 214, the mountainous vale of the dipped volcano at the settlement of Aftercasket regained their senses after an initial period of questionable judgment. How have your sturdy dwarves fared in your absence? I wonder. Have they gone on adventures or moved on to richer delving at new frontier settlements? Perhaps they are all still here, unwilling to leave the magnificent fortress you've prepared for them. Deep within the underground, the promise of treasure and thrill, overcoming danger, have lured you back to this place. Will you strike the earth again? Well, I do have that. So it's not all lost. Here's what I can do. If you are, in fact, not a vampire, could I just lock you into this room until you get thirsty? Oh, let me just turn off the tutorials real quick. You're already assigned to there. You're good. Bookkeeper, on the other hand, you need an office. Mayor, good. Oh, they reassigned my bookkeeper to somebody else. They didn't like my selection. That's funny. And Seth is a dungeon keeper who I don't need. Check curse. I doubt it, but unit is not cursed. Yeah, so I'm just gonna lock them in here until they drink, because they should. Like he should, right? We'll see. Do retired fortresses mine or build while you're away? No, because I feel like I don't speak for everybody, but I would assume that you don't want, like, you know, your fortress to just, like, break or completely change while you're gone, right? Like, that's why nothing changes. So we're on friendly terms with Stinthad now. Even though they never knew their real name. This is very much an adventure mode thing. We just have to wait until they get thirsty. Not water laced with blood? Well, if he refuses to drink it and he just gets thirsty, then I will make a... what's the word? I will go back to that adventure and I will do the thing that I need to do. I will give him several goblets and then retire the fort. Like, I will make this happen. If I have to mind game it or whatever, I will do it. And actually, I'm just going to real quick go to settings and go, just no saving for the minute. We will make this happen. Because I'm now in I have to follow only one dwarf mode. You know, because right here is where the game starts. We are following this dwarf for 10 years. So if they don't do the thing, well, then I will go back and we will make it happen. I don't think that'll be too difficult, yeah? Right, chat? We're doing some science here. And if I have to do science, then damn it, I'll do science. Although I will say sometimes you do get adventurers showing up while you're gone. Like this person. There's also some bat people down in the basement now. Those are new. Just kind of curious, actually, if the other locations would be exposed. No, they're not. What's kind of counterproductive to science? Oh, faith, yeah. Although I will say, I've seen dwarves that get thirsty and start dying of dehydration drink vomit before. So I'm pretty confident this dwarf is going to drink this blood. Why was this dwarf chosen in particular? Here, let's introduce Guilt Monk. First off, their last name is Guilt Monk, which is just perfect. Second, they are a very heavy worshiper of the god of death and war. Those are the first reasons. Secondly, he truly treasures the company of others and has little interest in joking around. He rarely feels discouraged and tends to not be swayed by emotional appeals. He's not particularly interested in what others think of him, and he tends to think he can handle stress, and he prefers that everyone lives as harmoniously as possible and needs alcohol to get through the working day. He dreams of raising a family and personally sees working hard as a foolish waste of time, does not particularly value the truth, and doesn't feel strongly about the law, and doesn't care about art one way or another. And he likes chromite, trifle pewter, and green jade, alpaca wool, cows for their haunting moos, and the words of the meditation of droplets. In the sight of the veneration of luxuries, and when possible prefers to consume gutter crewer and maize flour. And so far his long-term memories are he was interested after learning about engraving, found fondness after talking with an acquaintance, and performed the rites of the communion of gods, was blissful sleeping in his great bedroom, and was satisfied remembering a masterwork and raptured performing the rites of the communion of gods. I'm just going to get him to smooth his room. Which I actually think I need to give him this to let him do. Or actually, more specifically, I need to give him this. I'm not being all that picky yet because I'm not sure if this is going to work, but there you go. Oh no! Ash's Golmoth was seen being stolen. Pause! That's not actually the time yet, but... Did you steal it? By whomst? Axe, you didn't. Oh wait, no, who did it? Nope. Viking did. Viking, you son of a troll. Actually, hold up. I'm just gonna jump down to here, and I'm gonna properly no, I'm gonna arrest Viking first. Convict. Interrogate Viking. Come on. This human here is trying to take it. It's grim. Do you not have an office? Oh, you don't. God damn it. The mayor. Oh, I see. Okay, hold up. Who actually has it at the moment? Is it you? Yeah, so you're gonna go convict you. And I'm gonna go back to, I'm gonna set you guys to no orders, but I will go down to here and tell them to train there. Perfect. Let's go back to the exile. You, who's smoothing wall. Because people are starting to get thirsty. In adventure mode, it needs to be in a goblet. In fortress mode, it doesn't matter what it's in. They will just go drink a liquid. I just need to wait for... In fortress mode, they will just drink a liquid if they are thirsty. So I'm just waiting for him to get thirsty so that we can see if he will go drink it. Because I don't actually know yet. Blackthorn. Because right now we actually have no idea. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that this will work. And if it does, then I will enact the follow one dwarf for 10 years rules, which is I can only pause on the 5s and 10s, except for when there's an ad break like right now. Although I'll just let it run so that if he goes to drink, then I will pause. But yeah, if he does, then we'll call this a success. Otherwise, you know, it's a failure. How will I deal with sieges? I don't know yet. We'll figure that out when we get there. I can't answer questions that I haven't figured out answers to yet. The whole point of a challenge is trying to figure things out. We haven't gotten there yet, so I don't know. Most likely, I will make this dwarf into a siege engineer so that they can participate in sieges by, you know, being one of the 2 dwarves at the battlements, you know? So I can see what's going on. It's most likely what we'll do, but I don't actually know yet. There's going to be a lot of unanswered questions for a while. The last time I did this challenge, I would just station the military in the general vicinity of the siege and hope it went well. But, you know, the idea of a challenge like this is you keep this one dwarf as happy and optimal as possible, and everybody else is kind of a... If they die, they die, you know? I mean, I'm trying to make this dwarf into a vampire, so he's going to start eating people pretty soon. So we'll find out. And also, if you have ideas, I'm open and willing to listen. But don't ask me like I have everything planned, because I do not. Certainly do not. Can he die of hunger before he drinks? Highly unlikely. Okay, well, he is going to take a nap. So I'm going to make a garbage dump zone here. Tell him to dump this. Let him sleep first. I can see that he's thirsty, yes. But he... actually, let's wait to see if he sleeps first. To see if he drinks it after he sleeps. It's not booze, so he needs to be very thirsty. True, yeah. Oh well. You guys let me know if he drinks it. I'm gonna go use the toilet. I will be right back. Alright, he's still thirsty. Come on, dude. Yeah, no, that's how I feel, Eric. It's very much the chug, 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 chug. Food stockpile on it? I kind of doubt that'll do anything, but I'll try. Now wait for him to get very thirsty, which is like the next level of thirst. He's standing in the right place. Up, 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 up. What do you mean up? Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you were telling me to look up.
I was like, what's up? It's just my feeling.
Darn it, indeed, yeah. I mean, the other thing is get him to dump it out, because they'll recognize it as a liquid that they can consume once it's on the ground. Also, nice population, eh?
Sandwich!
Not quite hungry, me yet, but oh wow. Come on, Dwarf. Come on. You can do the drinking. Just gotta give it a sippy. You know you wanna. It'll keep you alive longer. It'll also cure your hunger. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Lennox. I can tell you that they will drink it in Fortress mode because I've seen them do it before. False Enigma. But if this doesn't work, then I will force it to happen. Actually, hold on. Let me look at something. I could literally, like, get somebody to... Yeah. I could game this pretty silly, but... We'll see until he gets desperate. Worst case scenario, I'll just go back into adventure mode and make it happen. It would also be very unfortunate if this blood isn't, you know, going to curse him. Which is also possible. Sometimes blood doesn't transfer vampirism, which sucks. When am I not, though, Von Galactic? When am I not? Although it's only naughty if you personally feel that it's naughty. I don't feel anything I do is naughty. Maybe that's your perception. I only do the most righteous, legitimate, normal things possible. Like forgetting to water my plants. Okay, now you're starving. All right, well, that's good. Hunt for small creature. Okay. We're off to hunt for Red October. He's trying to find some bugs, chat. When he hits dehydrated, if he doesn't drink the blood, then I'll get him to dump the blood on the floor. And if he doesn't drink it then we'll go back to adventure mode. And we'll figure out an option. Or actually just go into this fort and then dump it into a well and just make it that way, you know? Because I could actually just do it that way. Just give him, like, his own personal well-only well. Oh well, oh holiest well. Lord's fighting. Does cooking the blood kill the curse? I don't think you can cook with blood. Yeah, he's looking for like beetles. Basically, he's doing what like spiders, like what, not spiders. He's doing what cats do to stay fed and what pigs do. Just eating random crap off the ground. Starving already? Yeah, now he's dehydrated. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump this. Was thinking about that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to get very, very, very unconvinced this is going to work. I was pretty certain this would work, and now I'm not super certain this is going to work. Let's just go here and say prepared meals, and you're going to take from here, and I'm not certain that there is any prepared meals in there at the minute. Sag. I'm bummed out. I was very convinced I could make this work. Because I know that you can, like, successfully poison people in adventure mode by, like, giving them a mug full of poison. And I've done that. So... let's just go here. Make a garbage dump right there. Just get rid of that block. Wow. Nobody want to dump that. There you go. You grabbed it. Somebody's coming to put a food barrel in there. Okay, now I'm going to dig through this. And then just lock this door once that gets dug through. Oh yeah, no, this is the most like I'm trying to drug a dwarf I've ever felt, maybe. Nope. Nope, you're not gonna go drink, you're gonna go eat. Okay, so now you're gonna go back this way. You're gonna get unlocked. Dang it. And then let's just try dumping this. Are they not able to dump that out? I beg your pardon. I'm so perplexed by this. I just tried that, yeah, Christopher. Maybe it's because this is in the bedroom, potentially? I don't know. I'm kind of running out of ideas. Chat. I'm open to ideas though, if you have any others. Outside of literally, you know, just building a well. But even then, like now I'm kind of a little bit worried about how I would get it out. Actually, you're not wrong. What if? What if? What if? Panther Carpy, thanks for the $10 super chat. Hey, chat, can I get a round of beers for the $10 super chat? And YouTube folks, you guys can just hit the like button if you like. That's actually a little bit closer to $7, but because YouTube takes a bunch of it. Oh, come on. You can't be cereal. Oh, here, actually. Supplies. It doesn't have water in it. Supplies, water. It's not water. I don't think having a water skin would change anything because you would need a well to fill it from, right? But can it be parallel? I explain what you mean. What do you mean by can it be parallel? Yeah, nobody else has claimed it either. That's not true. Falsine Enigma in YouTube chat, they do in fact do general peasant tasks such as moving items from place to place. I need a blood skin? Well, I mean, this is a blood flask, but sure. How about I put it in a stockpile? Then delete the stockpile. Ha! Okay, so I'm going to try something. I'm going to open this door. Because it's in his inventory now. I have a theory. Viking has been found dead, dehydrated. Most likely due to the fact that he probably didn't get thrown in the prison. Oh, I know why. It's because he got beaten, and I didn't have a. Okay, so now you've got goblin blood in your inventory. With on the 6th. I'm just gonna go down to here. He's got goblin blood in his water skin with water. Or with alcohol. So maybe now it'll work. Let's just get all of these animals assigned to down here where they're supposed to be. I'm just going to fix a lot of the production lines in here. And then I'm going to lock him in his room again. I'm also going to get a tomb made for Viking. Because I didn't have a hospital yet. Which kind of makes sense. I knew I didn't have a hospital. I should have thought about that, but I didn't, because that wasn't exactly at the front of my mind, unfortunately. Liquids do, in fact, mix. But you might be presuming correct. They normally mix. You can let me hope here. If you don't want to let me hope, then that's fine. You're probably not wrong. Oh, I see. It's because I got that up. They mix when they are dumped, you presume? Well, we'll find out. Because he's now going to go sit in his room again for another year. Well, they're not going to be dumped into the same tile because I don't actually have the ability to do that at the moment. The flask is also supposed to only have a maximum of 3 units of liquid in it, and it clearly has 6, so... But I'll tell you right now, they are not mixed in his inventory. But the flask says that it's mixed, because there's mixed liquids in it, but the liquids themselves are not mixed. So we will find out what happens. Because, like, it's a stack of 3 Dwarven wine, and this is a stack of 3 Goblin blood. We'll find out. I don't know. We will find out. Oh, he just drank another wine without drinking the blood. He's very good at, like, sifting the blood out with his tongue. So now we'll see what happens. Allow him to train. He's stationed. Isn't that the same thing? Does it really matter at this point? If it's not going to work, like, I'm just going to sit here and wait. Especially considering he literally just drank one of the wines without it, so. If it's not going to work, then I literally do need to go back into adventure mode. And then cry in the corner because this entire neat idea is over. He wants to train? Fine! If you insist. Train. Choo-choo. My fortress is out of food, right? I was gonna butcher a bunch of dogs, wasn't I? I've got a lot of stuff I need to be doing right now, but I'm just not. Mate, go train. Or don't. There he goes. I mean, the other thing that I could do is I could retire this again, and I could just go fill a bunch of barrels up with booze and, like, goblin blood and leave them. Because he's probably not going to drink them unless they're mixed, like chat was saying. Chat's probably correct. So, actually, here's the thing I could do. I forbid this. Sneaky. Well, the sweat's on his body, not in his cup, so. I'm just gonna pause. I'm gonna go down to here. I mean, worst case scenario, I just literally have to make like a vampire well, which I really don't want to do. But I'll do it if I have to, you know? I'll do it if I have to. I can tell you for a fact, I've seen dwarves drink liquids with blood and get, like, I've had, the thing is you need the liquid to be laced with, right? And it's not. That's the issue here, is that it's like booze and it's not laced with the goblin blood. It's just goblin blood. So in order for it to be something that'll convert them, it needs to be laced with goblin blood instead of just goblin blood. Right now it's just goblin blood. Try switching it to water. I don't have a way of doing that. Also, isn't it like supposed to be water? Yeah, it's, oh, I see. It's set to drink. You're right, actually. Duh. I thought I had it set to water, my bad. Okay, what if I go out here then and update your uniform? Just looking at the dates, when we hit the 25th, I'll pause and just get that dwarf memorialized properly. And also get a bunch of these rolling, because these all need to be Grand Guild Halls. I apologize if this is frustrating for you, chat, but I'm going to tell you it's fucking frustrating for me. It is real fucking frustrating for me at the moment. I'm just bothered because, like, he did actually drink it, though, in adventure mode. Super fascinating? Oh, okay. Well, round of beers, chat, if you find this fascinating. I want to cry at the minute because I've been trying to plan a fortress around this for so long, and now it's like, I feel like all my plans are collapsing. Vampire shenanigans? Sorta. Mostly I really don't want to make a vampire well. I really don't want to make a vampire well. And this, on paper, should work as a method. What I did should have worked as a method of turning somebody into a vampire, but it didn't. And now this should, in theory, work, but it's not. And so I'm pissed off. You don't know what this fort is about? Exclamation point goal. That'll tell you literally in one command. That's not a command, speaking of Blackthorn. Don't put an exclamation point there. Just type in the beer. This dwarf is crying, I agree. He's in, also, according to YouTube chat, they're asking if he has private quarters. He's in his private quarters right now. And that didn't work. We tried that. Well, I swapped them to water. How different is this from the vampire fort? I can't believe I need to answer that question. How much clearer do I need to word it? We'll follow one vampire in a fort full of normal dwarves for 10 years. How is that different from the vampire fort? It's not a vampire fort. It's a fort with a vampire. Sheesh. Also, I'm just gonna go check farming. Also, where are these bat people? All the way down there? It should be fine. that is absolutely not the plan. No, I have zero plans whatsoever to convert the whole fort to vampires, because I do not want, and I feel like I've expressed this in times when you've been here before, Krista, is that I do not have any interest in playing another vampire fort because of how decidedly not fun that was to play. Also, I don't think I have any butcher shops at the minute. Yeah, I think I was in the middle of moving those, wasn't I? Just gonna get some production chains going. I guess the reason I'm real frustrated right now is I'm not even positive that I will be able to like use this playthrough. I might just have to go back and do this a completely different way, which I'm finding personally quite frustrating at the moment. Well, I knew that. It's just I thought that I had figured out a different way that would be less gimmicky. I could be wrong, but the only way it can be spread is by drinking the blood, not from bites. That seems to be the case. Yes, Blackthorn. Well, at the very least, food and drink is going up again, so that's good. I'm also just going to accept this, decline that, and accept this. And just go up to here and check. Are you grand value? No. Are you grand value? No. Well, you will be in a minute. Come on, Dwarf. Eric, thanks for gifting a sub, by the way. The Garfield fan. No, I know that you're explaining it. I'm just trying to elaborate on anything I see in chat, which sometimes makes it seem like I'm critiquing what you're saying. No, you're correct. The thing is, my theory here was if you are playing adventure mode and you have a cup full of alcohol or a cup full of water or a cup full of bee venom or spider venom and you hand it to somebody, they drink it and they get the effects of that thing. So I figured that if you had a cup full of vampire blood and you hand it to a dwarf, they would drink it. Which I tried to do, and it appeared to at least have some success, but it didn't work. So I still have this full of blood in this dwarf's inventory, and I'm trying to make them drink it without having to convert the entirety of the fort or risk converting the rest of the fort, which would completely ruin the point, right? Like, the idea here is I'm trying to just follow one dwarf and make them into a vampire, and it's not working. So if it doesn't work, this whole project might be a wash, and we might just start a new fort. Like, or just play this fort as a normal fort, which would be so disappointing that I will probably just retire it at the end of the day and then start a new fort. So yeah, I'm not happy. Is it possible to imprison them with no beer? I kind of already did that by locking them in their room. Can't you use DF hack to be a vamp? Not that I know of. If there is a series of commands to force somebody into a vampire in DF hack, I don't know what it is. I'd have to go do some research. The only vampire-related command I know is, like, curse. Can we restrict the zone and pour it into something that he will drink? Sure. I tried already. He's also already restricted in a zone. And he's got it in a flask holder. And when they're training in the military, they're supposed to drink all of the liquids out of their flask before refilling it. So I'm going to wait until he finishes this wine and see if he drinks it when he gets thirsty. And if he doesn't, then we'll let him fill it up with water. But in reality, like, this is kind of like fucking up the start of this because he should, ideally, in order for the functional challenge to work, he would have to be a vampire by now. And we've already lost a dwarf that... Anyway, I'm mad right now because this isn't working. It's frustrating. But yeah, we did already try that more or less. We locked him in this room until he was almost starved to death with nothing but that flask. We even like used airlocks to give him like food and he's still almost starved to death. So, and died of thirst. So it's like, I don't know, man. Try forbidding the booze. Wait until he gets thirsty. I kind of do feel like we have ways of turning into vampires at home, Gristoth. Vampires at home, not vampires. Sure. What's the info? Use GUI unit syndromes to examine the vampire. Take note of the syndrome ID that has afflicted. Well, I don't have a vampire to look at, so. Like. Yeah, no, I would still have to go get the vampire then. Yeah, my adventurer is not here. I would have to go back to playing as the adventurer again. So we're still in the plan where I have to retire the fort again. Also, apparently they drink forbidden liquids. That's kind of funny. The more you know. What if we allowed it to be used for eating and create a fine meal with it? Number one, you can't do that. Number two, if you can do that, I don't know how to do that. Now we see if he, like, gets into the habit of just taking swigs from his flask. Come on. He should be disgusted after being forced to consume blood. No, it's not, because it's the blood of a sentient being. So of course it wouldn't. Burr. Because it's blood of a goblin. If it wasn't goblin blood, then sure, that could be possible theoretically, but... Waiting for him to get thirsty. And if he doesn't drink it when he gets thirsty, then we let him out and see if he'll go fill it up with water and then send him back to training. Precisely, Grundick. Precisely. I wonder. Yeah. So the way I'm reading this is like kind of no matter what I do, I'm going to have to bring the adventurer back. Like I'm going to have to just pretend this is a different timeline, which is my fear. which just means science has been completed and it requires more rigorous science to complete the science. Although I don't actually think I need to go that far back. I could teleport to right before we got here. Which means probably what I would need to do is I would need to pour water on the ground or booze on the ground and then pour blood on the ground and then pick them up and fill the barrel with them is my guess of what I'd have to do. That's my guess. What we're hoping is that his name suddenly goes red here. Although if I figured out a method here that works, I might just go back to the save start anyway, get all the tasks that I need to get going, set the fortress up for success, and then go through the same route. Well, I mean, vomit isn't technically consuming sentience, isn't it? I think that's what I'm going to do, chat. If he gets thirsty, I'm going to go back to the adventurer save, and I'm going to try making a liquid like water laced with blood. That's what I'm going to try and do. Water laced with blood. Because that is what does it in the well.
Crypt
that
beer.
is going to be my final possibility. He's going to get so thirsty soon, I swear. Yeah, exactly, Blackthorn. Chat, can I get a round of beers from Draken Soul? Appreciate it. But the reason I didn't do that the last time was I was under the assumption that if I put blood into a cup and gave it to him and he drank it, which he did, that would infect him. But it seems like, because like if you put poison into a cup and you hand it to them, they'll drink it and it will infect them. So the theory my theory there failed. So science 1 failed. This would be like science 3.5. But what I could do is I could fill a flask and a water skin, one with booze and one with water and blood. One with booze and blood and one with water and blood. Wait, hold on a second. Are you telling me that I become a fungus if I microdose mushrooms then? Christoph? Because I don't want to be like that one guy in that one Resident Evil game. Why not science pie? I hadn't thought about that. Wouldn't that be pints? He's irritated when hungry. So then, I don't know, eat a bug. I don't know, Chad. Cross your toes and fingers. We got this. Hopefully, maybe. Maybe? Maybe. This should be easier than finding a whale, though, and you know, we've done that, so. You know, it would be even more frustrating than him not drinking it when he gets thirsty? Would be him drinking it and nothing happening. That would be the only thing that would make me... That would, like, make me not quite throw a keyboard, but I would throw this rat. He's thirsty. Okay, fine. I'm gonna do something. I do have one other theory. Uh-oh. Something's fighting. Piglet, turkey, helmet snake, giant cave toad. Lovely. Thief. Chat, I'm gonna call this a failure. Plan B. Back to Stinthad. All right. I don't know what to say good luck for Plan B. It's time to enact Plan Potion Mixing. I can't remember where I was when I said, hey, that's convenient. All right, so now we're back in adventure mode. Okay, so we got goblin blood. Let's just pull out a few things that I need. Let's pull out the water skin. Let's pull out the flask. We're gonna go down a level. Run down. How did I get the blood in that flask anyways? I watched my friend who was a vampire die and then filled the flask up with his blood. He was a very talented poet goblin. There's a turkey in that tree. It's not my blood, thankfully. No, that's a giant rat. No, 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 no. Okay, we're gonna go back. Up and Adams. Okay, I'm going to drop by hitting D on the keyboard. The flask blood. Then I'm going to fill the flask with water. Then I'm going to drop the water laced with mud. And then I'm going to fill the flask. Wait, are you telling me I could do one or the other? With water. Okay, so you fill the goblin blood laced with water flask. And then I'm gonna go over here once. So now I've got goblin blood laced with water. So you, I'm going to... No, not throw. I'm going to drop you. Yeah, I'm going to... Okay, so I've got this flask. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the blood that's in the flask. I'm going to fill... Okay, I can't fill you anymore. Fill that with concave blood. Oy vey. I'm gonna pour the water laced with mud on the ground. Pick up the water and put it in my backpack. What's on the water? It's just water. Okay, so that I can just drop. Why is this so silly? I mean, that's goblin blood laced with water. I need water laced with goblin blood. So... let's pour that out. Or maybe drop it. So there's just blind cave bear blood water. Okay, so let's fill you with mud water. And then pick that up, put it in my backpack, and then place it. Okay, hold on. I need to move. Let's drop the water. Drop the goblin blood. Goblin blood water. Water laced with goblin blood. Okay. So now, this isn't confusing at all. I've now got goblin blood. I've got water laced with goblin blood. Okay. Step 1 and step 2. Then I'm going to take you and I'm going to place you into the... Well, actually, here. I'll just fill the... With water, goblin blood. Then, I think I can also go over here because I should have one more vessel that I haven't filled up yet. So I've got blood laced with water in the mug. I've got water laced with blood in that. And then lastly, we've still got blood. So I'm just going to place that blood in my backpack. Which is now in my backpack. I'm going to drop it. No, that's the goblet. Okay, so I'm gonna get the goblet. I'm gonna drop the blood. I'm going to fill my backpack with the goblin blood laced with water, which is now on the floor because I have water on me. Don't worry about it. And then I'm gonna place that into the mug. And the... I just overwrote that, didn't I? Water laced with what? And then place that into the water skin. Jesus Christ. It's a logic puzzle that also doesn't make that much sense. So now I can pick you up. You've just got curious broth in it. So that's blood laced with water. If I go here, can I still pick you up? No, I can't. All right. Do we suck yet? This dwarf does, but have I successfully made somebody else suck? No. I'm gonna force it to happen now. If me giving him this mug doesn't do it, then I will just use the effect to give it to him. Huh? Where did you go? I lost him, chat. Looking for Toasted Guilt Monk. Where the heck do you go? Toasted? I'm here to toss that mug at you. In his bed? Possibly. Unlikely, though. Because they don't usually go to sleep, although maybe... Actually, don't know what time of day it is, even. I mean, he's probably in one of these mosh pit rooms, but... Oh, there he is. Start a conversation. Bypass greeting because you know who I am. Exchange, give, or take personal items. All right. I got a bunch of really fucky... Okay, so I've got... That's just got Curious Broth. This has Goblin Blood. This has Goblin Blood. But it's actually water laced with Goblin Blood. Give. Then... Goblin Blood. Give. So that should do it. So what I can do now... Well, he'll be in his bedroom when I come back. Because what I could do is I could go like GUI unit syndromes, all units, you know, Guilt Monk, which is their last name. What's my last name? Abby. Oh, there we are. Mystery? Oh, that's from Gods. Unzipped Water, thank you very much for the 8 months, by the way. I'm gonna go close the blinds because the sun's kind of at an angle where I can't really see my monitor. Alright, blinds have been shut. Now I can see my monitors again, both of them. Yeah, it looks like somebody gifted you a sub. If I click on your name, boss scans. Darius did. I closed the blinds. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I'm just going to do a save and continue playing. We're going to call this, I don't know, ADV03. Yeah, I was about to screenshot that as a backup for my backup plan. Did I leave that mug downstairs? Or do I still have it in my inventory? I'm gonna try that as well. It was 1438. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. I'm gonna give you one more thing. No, don't give him my horse. Could also give him my horse, but give. Give. So, like, here's the thing that I find a little bit frustrating, right? Watch this. Is if I wait a few turns. Is it still in there? Yeah, see, he drank it. Like, it's a... I don't know. Like, he did drink it. But if I do curse check, this unit is not cursed, so. GUI syndromes, all units, and then Abby's. It's 1597, looks like. ID 1438. So 1438. All right, we shall leave. Is he holding the blood in his hand? It should be in the vessel that I handed to him. I'm kind of tempted to steal that axe, because I know another dwarf is going to go steal it immediately. Should I take the axe, chat? Oh, that certainly doesn't. We've figured that much out from the first time we tried it. I deserve the axe as a treat, yeah. I mean, the actual backup for my backup plan here is just keep this adventurer around and play as the adventurer. Or watch the adventurer for 10 years. But that would... I don't want to do that personally, because that would also require me to do a bunch of things that I kind of don't want to do. Like, and it would limit things. Like, I wouldn't be able to let them fall in love, as an example. You know? Because vampires can't fall in love. Or not vampires. Adventurers can't fall in love. So there's a lot of, like, things that I'm suddenly limited by if I do it that way, which I think would suck! I don't think Putnam can do much here. If I try to break the game and it doesn't work, that I think is on me, not on Putnam. Although, hold up. There was an angry unit in my fortress for a second there. I don't know if you saw that. Oh, there it is. Wouldn't it be funny if he's just not on the map like I did infect him, but he left? That would be real funny. It's probably just one of the monster hunters. Okay, retire at this location for a while. Well, that sounds right, Drakensol. I would really like to complete the task that I'm trying to do. I think, like, if it comes down to it and I have to use DF hack to force it, I will force that dwarf into being a vampire instead of using the adventurer. Like, if that's what we have to do, then so be it, you know? Then so be it. But I would like to skip that step, if possible. If possible. It's time to go from coffee to water. Speaking of water, this is not laced with vampire blood. Shocker. Let's go. Cross finger. Hope to scream. What about vampire blood mud water? Vampire blood mud water. Sure. Okay, so reclaim / unretire. After casket. Chat. Round of beers. I don't have a blood emote. Oh no, I hear fighting sounds immediately. That's a good sign. How have your sturdy charges fared in your absence? Probably fine, I bet. Why is there fighting sounds? Perhaps they are still here, unwilling to leave the magnificent fortress you've prepared for them. Damn, I hope so. Deep underground, the promise of treasure and the thrill of overcoming danger have lured you to this place. Will you strike the earth again? Gosh. Will I? Okay, so. First thing first. The captain of the guards should be... no, not that. The captain of the guard shouldn't be Stukos. The captain of the guard should be 409, I think. The dungeon master isn't something I need. The hammerer isn't something I need. The manager, yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. That's right. That's not right. That's right. That's right. Got it all corrected. Then we got to jump up to here and pause the game. I'm going to drop down to the lowest of the low levels. And I'm going to hide tutorials. Then I'm going to put all of the animals that I don't want running around randomly at random for random reasons anywhere other than down in here, except for the turkey who's in a tree for some reason, which I've never quite figured out why, but he is. I suspect he got startled at some point. Let's go just make a butcher shop over there and a tanner shop over here. I'm going to go up to here, and I'm just going to go brew, drink from plant, meal, lavish, and just do 15 and say 100. And whenever it's less than 150, just make 100. Let's just go labor kitchen. Don't cook my drinks, damn it. All right. Oops, nope, I missed one. Labor kitchen, don't drink my drink. Don't cook my drinks, damn it. Okay. Then lastly, where is the exalted? You're praying. All your items are in there, so I've got to get you into there. So I'm going to make a new militia captain. And I'm going to say exalted. And you are just going to go get stationed right there, but I'm going to go into your inventory and just say for the minute, no drinks. And you should go station. Attempt 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign all this. I'm going to take you off of being stationed, and I'm going to make a everything stockpile right here. So now we wait for him to get thirsty again, because one of these is water laced with blood. So that could be the key. Because it is water, it's just contaminated. So, I don't know. Hope for the best, chat. Hope for the best. You missed it? How did I do that? I filled a cup up with water and poured it on the ground. I filled a cup up with blood and poured it on the ground. And then I filled a flask up with that. And then I did it in reverse and filled a water skin up with that. So one of them has one of them has the other. And now we cross our fingers and hope it works. I am not going to prepare any food at a transfer facility. I know that you really want me to do that, but he will drink or eat in any order when he's hungry and thirsty. I'm simply making it so that the only accessible food or drink available is that, because I don't want to dig a hole in that wall unless I have to. One is blood tainted with water, correct. I wouldn't say that that is a side mission. The side mission is to be a vampire and not get caught. Currently, I'm not taking on side quests, though, because the mainline quest is hard enough, man. Mainline quest is become vampire, and I haven't successfully succeeded in that. But once we achieve the main mission, then we can discuss side quests. Tainted with water? That's me when I get out of the shower. Thankfully, the salt here is subsiding a little bit. I have actually infected military dwarves before by making them equip, by making them fill their water skins from a well. Oh, also, let's do this. Supplies, water. And no orders, on duty. Okay, so he's now put it in his inventory. So he should drink it when he gets thirsty. The Guild of Coal would like a Grand Guild Hall. Well, he's praying. This is 3 units of water, laced with blood. The game knows it's laced, yes. Yes? Yes. But if this doesn't work, then I'm just going to use DF hack and force it. Although I'll have to read the instructions again, which were popped in chat not too long ago, so. Chat, are you hopeful this time? What do you think? Because this is just goblin blood. Untainted. Just plain old-fashioned goblin blood. Does the dwarf know it's laced? I'm trying to drug a dwarf, okay? Hopefully not. He did pick it up. He thinks it's water. He's listening to a sermon. Wait, what? Who's putting on... someone over here must be putting on the sermon, hey? God, I'm so out of practice with the only following one God thing. But ideally his name should just go red suddenly. Ideally. Ideally. You can smell the blood. Neckpaw. Yeah, the difference is vomit didn't come out, or rather, vomit doesn't require killing a sentient creature. Blood does. Goblin blood is... It worked, motherfuckers! It fucking did! Ah! Celebrate dwarf times, come on! Do 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 do. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on quarterly saving, and I'm gonna pause the game. Just gonna check this real quick. Stoneworkers Guild needs to be a Grand Guild Hall, which is this. So I'm gonna throw a bunch of stuff in here to make this nicer. And the rules are as follows. I can only pause on the 5s and the 10s. So on the 5th and the 10th of every month, I can pause. Or sorry, rather, on any 5 or 0. So